Here.
Mr. Lance. Mr. Frazier.
Here.
Mr. Cassidy. Ms. Seymour. Here. Or, I'm sorry, Ms. Jordan. Here. With other members present.
Thank you. Let's all stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. The first item on our agenda is the election of officers for our 2014-2015 City Council. And again, yes.
Madam Chair, I nominate Don Cassi for Chair of the City Council.
Support.
Any other nominations? Will we take the vote, or will we mention or will we use?
Acclamation. By acclamation.
Yeah, so you can vote on it. I mean, there's no other nominations.
Aye.
Madam Chair, I nominate Sylvia Jordan for President Pro Tem of the City Council. Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I abstain. I abstain as well.
Okay. So we have a new council president, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you very much, council members. I appreciate the vote of confidence. We put a team together and get a lot accomplished in this city.
And can I make a comment before I
Absolutely.
appreciate my colleagues for the next year, 2014 to 2015, and Council Secretary. Thank you.
First item that we have under the presentation is Kids of Life-Saving Award to Mr. Walter Sheppard. This will be given to Chief.
Good evening.
Chief Rowley.
Congratulations, Mr. President. Mr. President, Council, Madam Attorney, Madam Clerk, Mr. Zorn, other city officials, and citizens of the city of Southfield, and our guests. It's an honor for me to be here this evening to present this award. On August 29th, 2011, at approximately 6:09 in the evening, Mr. Sheppard was driving northbound on US 10 over Telegraph, and he came across a rollover motor vehicle accident. Mr. Sheppard was the first on scene. He quickly pulled over, parked his car, and made his way to the rolled over vehicle to see if he could help. As he approached the vehicle, he noticed that heavy black smoke was beginning to billow from the vehicle. The impact of the vehicle was so severe that the driver was thrown into the back seat, where he was trapped, calling for help, and he was severely injured. Mr. Sheppard noticed that the driver's foot had been amputated as a result of the accident. Without hesitation, Mr. Sheppard gained access to the vehicle, physically removed the driver, and rapidly removed him to safety. Within seconds of the driver being removed from the vehicle exploded into flames and was fully engulfed in fire. Mr. Sheppard stayed with the injured victim until the fire department and the paramedics arrived. The fire was extinguished, the driver was treated and transported to William Beaumont Royal Oak for further care of his injuries. The Citizens Life-Saving Award is given to a member of the general public who, at great personal risk to themselves, are credited with directly saving or attempting to save a life or lives during a rescue situation. Ladies and gentlemen, heroes are those special people who are willing to help strangers, even if it puts them and their lives at risk. If it were not for the selfless and heroic efforts of Mr. Sheppard, the victim's outcome would have been, and most probably would have been, much different. It gives me great pleasure to present the Southfield Fire Department Citizens Life Saving Award to Mr. Walter Sheppard.
Not much of a talker, but I got my granddaughter, my wife, my daughter, and my son. They all here to come up and share this with me. I just happened to be at the right place at the right time to help the young gentleman out of the car. But I thank you guys very much for what you did for me.
Mr. Sheppard, would you come up this way so we can greet you as council? Your family can follow you if they wish.
Mr. Sheppard's a very modest man. You said he's in the right place at the right time, but many people are like that. You have to be the right person in the right place at the right time, and Mr. Sheppard is that.
I'll make one up. Congratulations. He's a hero. Sure is.
Madam Clerk, did the mayor state whether she's going to be here or not?
I have not heard from the mayor.
Anyone here? Oh, here she comes.
I'd just like to say to Mr. Sheppard, in a lot of situations, people freeze if they see something that I thank you for having the presence of mind to do the right thing.
Thank you.
I think what we're saying is thank you for being you. That's amazing. I mean,
Madam Mayor, we have a presentation. I'd like to have her come on stage. Mr. Chairman.
Good evening, esteemed council. I've asked my color guard team to just come up and flank me as well as our staff. You know, all throughout history, young men and women have answered the call to duty, that is. But the city of Southfield being no exception. And having our own mayor support us in the way that she has, and continuing to show the men and women in uniform that their service to this great nation has not been forgotten, we are extremely grateful for that. So to that end, Madam Mayor, we would like to present you with what we call the American Patriot Award. Certainly, it is well deserved. We appreciate your long service in this great community, and we wish you Godspeed in your new capacity as Congresswoman.
That's right.
I just want to say thank you, but please, gentlemen, for 1 second. I just want you to know that this is so heartfelt because it's coming from those who have served, and you are still serving. in every capacity that you can. I want to thank you for your leadership, for making sure that those who have served are not forgotten. And so, God bless you. I'm going to a place where I can have a vote on taking care of policies and laws to ensure that those in active duty are taken care of. And when you come home, we remember that and take care of you at home. God bless you. Thank you.
Mayor, yes, you have two appointments. One's an appointment, one's a reappointment.
Mr. Chair, and to the council, it is with gratitude and deep reflection that I'm making these recommendations for appointment tonight. We have a downtown development authority that you know that has a tremendous responsibility for the area that Northland, Providence Hospital, and OCC are located. Very important parts of our city. And we appoint people to serve in the capacity of a member of that commission to set policy, make recommendations to the council, and to do community development. And with that, I would like to bring forward a very, very important leader in our region to be appointed to this board. It is the Providence Hospital President, Dr. Michael Wyman, and I'm bringing him forward to fill a vacant seat. And with your approval, he will serve on the Downtown Development Authority. I recommend him highly because he has a vested interest in the success of the DDA and Southfield. Also, I'd like to bring forward to reappointment to the Parks and Rec Board, Rosemary Allen. Many of you know Rosemary for her tireless work in the community. I can tell you that she attends the meetings. She's very involved and very passionate, has served well in that capacity. So I'm recommending this appointment and this reappointment to these two boards for your approval.
Council, Subcommittee.
Dr. Michael Wyman to the appointment of Downtown Development Authority and Rosemary Allen to the reappointment to the Parks and Recreation.
That's moved by, who is it down here? Is it Mr. Cyber? Moved by Mr. Jordan, supported by Mr. Cyber. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I say no to the appointment of Dr. Wyman.
Let the records indicate that we have 6 yeas and 1 nay.
If anybody wants to know why, I'll tell them.
Madam Clerk, would you like to swear the microphone?
Both raise your right hand, please. Do you hereby swear or affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of this state, and the Southfield City Charter, and that you will faithfully perform the duties of the Downtown Development Authority and the reappointment to the Parks and Recreation Board, in and for the city of Southfield, County of Oakland, State of Michigan, according to the Southfield Airport?
Next item we have is the minutes of August 25th.
Mr. President, I move for the approval of the City Council minutes of the regular meeting of August 25th, 2014. Support.
Moved by Mr. Moss, by Mr. Frazier, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays, the motion carries. I'd like to just apologize for those who emailed me regarding the change of time of the meeting on the 10th when we had Veterans Day, that we started at 1 o'clock instead of the normal 7. That was a change that was made at the meeting prior to the one on the 10th, and I'm sorry that there wasn't any better communications with the residents, noting the fact that we were changing the time from 7 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Anyways, next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. It's to authorize the mayor of city clerk to execute a 2-year contract effective November 25th through November 24th of 2016 with temperature service to Livonia, Michigan, to provide heating, ventilation, and air conditioning services. Expenditure are estimated to be $80,000 annually based on the hourly rates provided. Funds are provided in the facility maintenance budget. B would be the authorization of mayor and clerk to sign the investment management agreement with Brownfield Capital, allocating $2.2 billion, or approximately 2% of the SERS portfolio in the Brownfield Capital Income Fund. This is subject to review of the said agreements as performed by the SERS pension attorney and the city attorney. C would be the authorization of the city to enter into a contract with Suburban Mobility Authority for Regional Transportation, SMART, for a specialized service operating assistance program in the amount of $13,227, which revenues are included in the Parks and Recreation account. And D would be improvement of the agreement with the Road Commission for Oakland County for major streets, snow and ice control for 2014 to 15. Specifically, County Roads 10-mile road, 12-mile road, and Lasher Road, with payment by the county for the 2014-15 snow and ice control services to be $90,728.83. D would be the receipt of ammunition for the ammunition for the Southfield Police Department, approve the purchase of .223 ammunition from Vance Outdoors, Inc. of Columbus, Ohio, the total amount of $36,998.50, with funds provided in the 2014-15 Police Department budget. Mr. Chair. Madam Sylvia Jordan.
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda items A, B, C, D, and E.
Support that, so I have a question.
This is moved by Mrs. Jordan, supported by Mr. Seibert. Mr. Seibert.
Just a very quick question, I'm going to support it. On number A, to the city administrator, is that, I assume that contract is for all city facilities, not just this building?
That is correct.
All right, thank you.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays, the motion carries. Next item on the agenda would be the public hearings, GP 1271. Special use request of Candace Susano, Grand Sporting Motoring, to establish an auto detailing shop as a non-industrial use in the existing building in the II Industrial Zoning District, a property located at 23080 Telegraph Road. Mr.
Thank you,
Manager Department.
through the chair. You did a good job introducing it, so I'll just say that the application was received on... Yes, it is. Application was received on August 29th. Planning Commission held a public hearing, made a favorable recommendation on October 15th. I have a brief video to show.
GP 1271 is a special use request of Candace Susano of Grand Sport Motoring to establish an auto repair facility on property located at 23080 Telegraph Road,
on the east side of Telegraph Road, north of 9 Mile Road, in Section 28 of the city. The subject property, as well as the properties to the north, to the west across Telegraph Road, and to the south are zoned I-1 industrial. The properties to the east are zoned R1 single-family residential. With regard to the existing land uses, the property to the north is developed with the rental professionals building. The property to the south is developed with a White Castle restaurant. The properties to the east are developed with single-family homes fronting Bush Street. The property to the west across Telegraph Road is developed with the Bank of America building and the Lakeside car rental facilities. The site contains .67 acres of land with 146 feet of frontage on Telegraph Road and a depth of 200 feet. The special use request is to permit a non-industrial use or use not specifically related to manufacturing in the I-1 industrial zoning district. Issues considered by the Planning Department during the review of the special use were the special use general standards and conditions of the I-1 industrial zoning district. This proposal is in accordance with the Southfield Comprehensive Master Plan, noting technology corridor subarea for this parcel. Petitioner is to implement the recommendations made by the Southfield Police Department's Crime Prevention Bureau regarding site security.
Through the chair, if you may recall, this was the former White Reproduction Building. At one time, the council did entertain Kronk's Gym, but with the passing of Mr. Emmanuel Stewart, that never went anywhere. This building's been vacant for several years. The applicant is proposing basically an auto detailing shop at this facility, and if he or she's in the audience, I'd ask him to come up and address the council.
Can you give your name and address, please, for the record?
Good evening, Jim Pisano, 5528 Victoria Drive, West Bloomfield, 48322, on behalf of Transport Motoring.
Anything you'd like to contribute other than what the city planner stated?
No, he's pretty much covered it all. That's what we're planning on doing there.
And thank you very much. Move the public hearing open. If anyone wishes to speak, you may have a seat. Anyone in the public? Anyone in the public want to speak? Please give your name and address for the record, please.
Pamela Gerald, P.O. Box 155, Southfield, Michigan, 48037-0155. My telephone number is 248-346-0439. I don't see a problem why this business can't be in this location. My only concerns is being an auto repair and charging customers for certain types of parts and maybe oil disposal. Are they really going to be disposing it in the proper places if you're going to be charging customers for that? And then the other concern, if I just wanted to nitpick, would be the hours, the parking, and any loudspeakers that may distract or disrupt any of the residents' quality of life.
Anyone else, please? That record indicates no one else who wishes to speak in public council.
Yeah, Mr. President.
Lois?
Yeah, I'm going to approve of this because, reading the documents, of which there are a lot, including the meeting minutes, minutes from other committee meetings that this has been reviewed in front of. I have a few questions that might be for the planner and for the petitioner. So this, in the documents, it said that part of the usage would not be under the hood repairs. Is that correct?
The statement was made clear during the planning commission that this would not be like transmission changes or changing oil or any major engine repair. But they're
just auto detailing?
Mostly auto detailing, yes.
Okay. So that was just a confusion for me.
I mean, you have a small retail component if somebody wanted to self-apply some of the fins or the auto striping and so forth.
Okay, that was just a confusion for me. So, all right, that's all I had.
Yes, George, thank you. Along the same lines, item 9 under the planner's recommendation, it says no major repair. And I just want to clarify that word major repair. if I could have the petitioner clarify that.
Yeah, there's going to be no under-the-hood repair on any motor work, brake work, anything like that in the building.
How much should that be spelled out clearly here? Because we don't want that sort of work done in the facility, because it is auto detail, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, I would like to see that spelled out.
Through the chair, if the council so approves, we'll make sure that is itemized in the conditions.
Right, all right, thank you.
Anyone else? Yes, go ahead.
As I understand it, auto detailing is on the outside surface, is that correct?
Correct.
That's more decorative in appearance.
Correct.
I just want to be, so nothing under the hood.
No.
It's not a repair shop, so in that sense of the word, not engine repair.
No mechanical repairs.
I recall when you came before the committee before that it was about the detailing, which could be striping or decorative or something like that. Is that correct?
Correct. Cosmetic repairs.
Okay, that's what I recall. Thank you.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes, I had the same concern. This afternoon I talked to a planner, and it was pointed out to me that there may be a time when the hood is up where you may have to connect to a battery if you're going to put some kind of a device that's part of the detailing, but you wouldn't be doing any repairs. So I just want to make it clear that if anybody looks in the window and sees the hood up, they don't come running in saying, you said you weren't going to put the hood up. So I was clear on that, and I had the question, and I asked our planner this afternoon.
That would be correct.
So I'm all set.
Mr. President, I'll move for the approval of GP 1271.
Support. Moved by Mr. Moss, supported by Mrs. Seymour. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And nays. Terry, would you make sure that you further define that statement?
Yes, I will.
Motor vehicle.
On the final.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The next public hearing is a request of Southfield Development, LLC, and Southfield HSS to establish an industrial development district under the Public Act 198 of 1974 as amended in Travelers Tower 1 and 2 at 26555 Evergreen Road. Who's got that one, Shelley?
I do. Good evening, Madam Mayor, Honorable Board. Congratulations, Mr. President. This evening, we are very excited to welcome Covisint back to the city of Southfield. As you might remember, they were here several years ago, and they're looking to relocate back into our wonderful community and move into the Travelers 2 Tower. I have a representative here from Covisint who's going to give a presentation about the company, after which I'd like to have two public hearings. One is to establish the Industrial Development District around both Travelers 1 and Travelers 2 properties, and then upon completion of that, if that's approved, to have a public hearing to request their project go into the district. So at this point, I'd like to turn it over to them.
Please give me a name and address for the record.
Hi there, my name is Bill Wodneski. I'm with Covisint. My address is 1 Campus Martius, Detroit, Michigan, 48226.
Thank you.
First, I'd like to say thank you to all the members of council for having me here this evening. Mayor Lawrence, and special thank you to Shelley. Shelley's been very professional, helped me through everything, and all the paperwork. So, without further ado, Covisint Corporation is a company that is a cloud-based IT company. We connect information to anybody, anyplace, anywhere, at any time. We have 21 million unique user identities, people who use our software and our platform to connect to information. We've got blue ribbon listed clients up there, and 212,000 organizations all the way up and down our chain. A global footprint for us, we have, the majority of our folks are in Detroit, Michigan. We have about 350 employees there, 100 folks in Shanghai, China. We have a small office in Frankfurt, Germany, and then we have about 30 virtual salespeople running around the United States in different places, mostly in Raleigh, Durham, some in California, and Austin, Texas as well. from Ford, General Motors, Chrysler, the Renault and Peugeot were also part of it. They plowed over $500 million into this platform that we use today, and ever since then, even with CompuWare, you're talking almost $700–800 million of R&D put forth into this project that is our business today. When Ford, General Motors, and Chrysler had finished their project, which was setting up an IT exchange, CompuWare is trying to reinvent itself following Y2K and purchased the company. And we sat there inside of CompuWare for several years as a department, and then CompuWare, late 2012, decided that they needed to spin us out and maximize their shareholder value, which we just saw in the culmination of the sale of the building last week. CompuWare sold itself. The remaining two pieces will be split in two. We were one of the first pieces in unraveling that. We went public in September 2013, and today, as of October 31st, are fully outside of CompuWare. Southfield was our home all the way up until 2004 when CompuWare bought us, moved us downtown, and so with a little excitement, we're excited to be back in Southfield. Just to fast forward, in looking for our new location, we were looking to sort of get away from automotive business, more into healthcare, oil and gas, and the possibilities are kind of limitless with our business. So we took a very hard look, run around the country, went to North Carolina, Texas. We looked at sites. I looked at almost 40 from all told across the country, more than 50 different properties. Metro Detroit was our home. It's where all of our folks are. It would have been painful to move someplace else, so we're glad that we stayed in Michigan. Everything that we need is here. Our customers, our people, and access to talent. To tell you about our project, we have approximately 240 positions that will transfer up the lodge to Southfield. Our plans are to create 50 new positions over the next 3 years, and those will be across a wide spectrum, whether it's operations, R&D folks, sales, administrative folks, and then obviously our client managers. We have a high base wage of almost $90,000 per job, and the total investment will be almost $5.5 million when we add in our data center and the cost of our build-out. We're going to move to the Travelers 2 Tower. We're going to rent an entire floor, finish it out, give it kind of a West Coast feel, that open collaborative space where the walls of the cubicles will be short so everybody can talk to each other and collaborate and work on our projects together. What we're here to ask for is a PA 328, and that will be from only the new property that we acquire. Everything that we bring here from Detroit obviously is not exempt, and we've calculated our payback. If you have a spreadsheet in your materials there, the payback will be approximately 7 years into our 11-year lease. We got into this a little bit with our subcommittee a few weeks ago, but as far as charitable efforts, CompuWare and Covisint especially have been very active in Habitat for Humanity, Lightbusters, Detroit-based charities, Lafayette Gardens we maintained there, and then the Eaton Academy is a school in the suburbs here that specializes in children with learning disabilities. We've been active in supporting that, and we expect to do the same here in the city of Southfield. So with that,
Thank you, Rick. Shelley, any more comments to make?
No.
I'll now open the public hearing regarding item B, you just have a seat there with Shelley. Thank you. Name and address for the record, please.
Pamela Jarrow, P.O. Box 155, Southfield, Michigan 48037-0155. My telephone number is 248-346-0439. I'm in total support of establishing this industrial development district, but I had mentioned previously about the city looking at designating the entire city an industrial development district, only because you have so many light companies trying to move into Southfield, and I'm sure members of this council and the city are happy to get this company from Dan Gilbert's New Detroit, I guess this is what people are saying, and from the CompuWare building. So I'm in total support, and Shelley, I'm very proud of you. We don't always see eye to eye on these things, but I think that she has been working very hard, but I want to see her work a little bit harder and just go ahead and establish the district for the entire city, and then each individual company can just come in and request their PA 328. So I'm in support. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak regarding this issue? Let the records indicate there is no one. Council, we have a attached resolution.
Mr. President? I don't have any comments on this public hearing. I'll probably make some comments on item C, but I don't know if the rest of the council has comments. Otherwise, I'll make the motion to approve the industrial development district for this property under PA 198.
Support. It's moved by Mr. Moss, supported by Mr. Seymour. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays, motion carries. Shelley, the next item is the application for Covisint Corporation for the personal property tax.
That's correct. Covisint is investing $5.7 million, of which $4.7 million is in information technology, furniture, and fixtures. The balance will be in leasehold improvements. Again, they will be bringing some of their existing equipment and furniture to the facility, which will shorten the payback period for the city of Southfield. So we'd like to request a public hearing to place this project in the newly formed district.
Move the public hearing. Name and address for the record, please.
Pamela Jarrow, P.O. Box 155, Southfield, Michigan 48037-0155. My telephone number again is 248-346-0439. Again, I'm in support of this personal property tax exemption. Hey, I think we can do it. I just want to say to the company, through the council, that they always want to know if you're a member of the Southfield Chamber. So you might, if you're not yet, or if you haven't looked into it, look into joining the Southfield Chamber. But I want to caution you that there is also an African American chamber, a Korean chamber, and several other chambers. Don't just reach out to one without all of them, and make your own decision in terms of how you're going to support the community. Don't just support an elected official's cause, and that's it. Be about the residents, and they'll be about you. Thank you.
Anyone else who would like to speak regarding this? Give a name and address for the record, please.
Mark Adams, Oakland County Economic Development, 2100 Pontiac Lake Road, Waterford, Michigan. Good evening, council, mayor. I just want to welcome Covisint back into Southfield. Many of you know we really worked hard the first time around, because I remember talking to several individuals here when they first proposed splitting off from the big three at that time. And we're very pleased to have them back in our community, and I think they're going to be a great asset to further diversification of the city of Southfield and Oakland County.
Thank you. Anyone else to speak? I declare the public hearing closed. Council members?
Chair,
Ms. Jordan?
would you entertain a motion at this time to approve the application for exemption for personal property held by code?
Support.
Moved by Mrs. George, supported by Mr. Frazier.
We have discussion.
Mr. Moss?
Yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the project, only because there was an element missing that I know you want to highlight, and we want highlighted here at this council part of our job on city council is to talk about the strengths of our community, but it only further validates what we say and what we've put out internally if external people also echo that. If you could highlight why did you choose to relocate back into the city of Southfield in specific and the strengths that our community has, that helps us, get our message out there to the business community that Southfield's open for business, Southfield is accessible, and Southfield's worth investing in. So I just wanted, if you could just say, a few sentences on what made this move at the time in your mind.
I'm happy to do that. So what we did is a scattergram or zip code analysis. So you sort of lay out where everybody lives in your company. And so if you can imagine, we have people scattered up the east side, all the way up to Clarkston, all the way up to Novi, Ann Arbor, downriver, some in Detroit. And so location-wise, kind of Southfield seemed like the center of our employee universe. And which isn't surprising if you buy a company that has an existing workforce and then sort of 10 years later, a lot of those people are still working here today. And then with Detroit, especially the downtown district, the central business district, the rents have significantly gone up. You hear it in the paper when landlords downtown are talking about how well they're doing in their price per square foot. And then also with more people downtown, it seems like everything is under construction right now downtown. And so we have this workforce that's getting older. So even as an IT company, I know you only asked for a few sentences, but I'm going to give you more.
You can keep going. I love hearing about why.
As an IT company, we're not kind of like how you think of with a bunch of 25-year-old kids sitting around doing things. We have, when you walk around, you see a lot of people in their 40s and 50s with kids, and so those commute times, 80% of our people were saying, I spend too much time in my car commuting to and from work and away from my family. So Southfield is going to alleviate a lot of that.
So I know our communications team is here in the audience, and I'm sure we're going to be sending out press release and everything like that. So we definitely want to make sure that, we have outside validators, people who can speak for us. So I'm sure Michael will catch you. But thanks for that, and I appreciate your comments.
Mrs. Jordan, and then Ms.
And with the comments that you just made, and I trust that your current employees will consider possibly relocation to the city of Southfield. If Shelley hasn't already shared with you our information from our housing department, our housing staff, our great neighborhoods, and our great communities. So please consider or give that consideration to your employees.
Certainly. I think we have a bunch of people who live here already, and hopefully they'll live and work in the same place as well.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've said this to other people that are thinking about moving here and are moving here, that we do have beautiful neighborhoods. We have every type of house you could think of, and if you need to familiarize them with the neighborhoods, we have a councilman here who is very good at giving tours and knows the city like he is already. But that's a good thing to consider. But my only comment is welcome home.
Thank you.
Mr. President.
Yeah, Madam Mayor?
Yes, I clearly want to say welcome home. I remember the dream and the excitement when your company was born, and we were so excited to be part of that and to have you branch out and to sustain yourself through some of the toughest economic times. Not only that technology bubble, but also the economic challenge, and you're still standing and you have grown. That says a lot about your company, and I can say that center of it all has been our force in the market, but in addition to that, our fiber optics and other things, and our business-friendly environment. We're proud to have Shelley as our face in the business community to work hard on that. But we do want to say that this is going to be a community that, like so much emphasis are put on one segment of our region, but Southfield went through the same economic challenge, and we're growing and we're getting better. And in our business community. And for you to do your due diligence, because I know you did it, and for Southfield to hold the funds, says a lot about us, but you are a strong company. Because I tell you, I remember you came out and the projections were amazing, and then everything just changed on you. I'm really glad to have you back. I'm glad to see that your company has sustained itself and growing. So, again, welcome home.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Sheppard?
when do you expect to relocate? I know things are really changing very quickly down at the Consular building. New owner, and people are moving around.
So we have about a 14-week construction schedule. We're pretty close on the lease. We believe kind of the soonest at this point would be June 1.
Okay. So hopefully by not too long after June 1, our road will be fixed up front, and your landlord will be building a building on Evergreen that your workforce can frequent with some new businesses. And so
He just shared that. That's going to be a big deal.
And I too welcome that.
Anything else, Council? Thank you very much. Welcome to the city.
Good to take care.
Yes.
My own expressions are on the table. We'll do it anyway. Give me a roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Stiver?
Yes.
Ms. Seymour?
Yes.
Mr. Moss?
Yes.
Ms. Jordan?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Patapsky?
Yes.
We have 6 members in favor, the motion passes.
Thank you. Next item, Shelley, you want to cover that one?
Yes, good evening once again. So as the city looks to continue to diversify our business sectors, we have a wonderful company, Durr Corporation. You heard from them at our November 10th Committee of the Whole meeting. This project is a little bit more complicated than the last project. I'm going to ask the representative from Durr to come forward and give a presentation about what they're looking to do at this site, as well as the representative from the environmental company to share some of the work that will be taking place at the location. This project is going to require 3 public hearings. One, that we request a public hearing to establish a commercial rehabilitation district at the variety of the neighboring properties. Then we would look to place this project in the district, and then we'll be layering a Brownfield redevelopment project on top of everything. So at this time, I'd like to invite Matt to come forward.
Could you give me an address for the record, please?
Good evening, Matt Nowakowski, 42459 Ravina Lane, Northfield, Michigan. I'm glad to have the opportunity to present our company to you, council, and to the public hearing as well. Durr is one of the leading mechanical plant engineering firm worldwide. Our business is mainly related to automotive industry, 65% related to automotive industry. Other market segments are as well mechanical engineering, chemical, pharmaceutical, and recently as well wood industry. Globally, we have almost 40,000 employees. We are represented in 28 countries and generates around 3.2 billion euro a year. Current locations, we have 3 locations right now in Michigan, and Plymouth, in Auburn Hills, and in Wixom. And our plan is to relocate all 3 facilities and build the campus in one place, and this place was chosen, Southfield, as the best place for us from economical point of view and as well from location point of view. Before, we had already several attempts to create the campus. Unfortunately, all the attempts were not successful due to budget reasons, economical reasons, change in automotive industry, or even real estate markets. So today, I believe we are way closer than we ever been before to realize this beautiful Before and after, I would like to share with you the site, how it looks today, and what we plan to do is that we will contribute as well to the nice look of the Southfield area. I would like to pass to Jessica, and I will be with you shortly.
Good evening, Jessica DeBone, PM Environmental, 4080 West 11 Mile, Berkeley, Michigan. So the property that we're looking at is 26801 Northwestern Highway. The existing building was built in 1968 and sits on about 14.5 acres. The building's approximately 22,000 square feet. It includes 2 floors, a full basement, and then a courtyard space. The most recent use in the property was DTE Customer Service Call Center. So the property was deemed functionally obsolete by an outside assessor, making it eligible for the Brownfield request that we have today. Here are a couple pictures showing some of the reasons for that. The main reason being that there is quite a bit of asbestos in the building that will have to be abated prior to any demolition or renovation activities taking place. So all these floor tiles here are asbestos-containing floor tiles, including the glue that you might see underneath them.
Okay, within this campus we would like to consolidate engineering, testing, and validation. We will move around 485 employees to Southfield. We plan to renovate around 90,000 square feet of office building and construct around 100,000 square feet of validation, R&D, and training center. There will be site improvements, employee parkings, and social green areas as well. The campus on the picture, how we vision it right now, I believe very nice look as well. This is the front, which we consider as well to rebuild to make a very nice look and entrance to employees and visitors. There will be definitely as well added value not only for us as well to the city of Southfield. So moving 485 people to Southfield, we will definitely generate as well a lot of business for the small restaurants and hotels around. We plan to spend around 40 million for our whole investment, including machinery and R&D equipment. We will be offering certain employees compensation packages for relocation. We donate since 2004 almost 180,000 funds to the local charities, and we plan to continue with our job as well in Southfield. We participate in the educational programs, recruiting local high school talents and offering college scholarship, and this will be as well continued since our business relies on our excellent employees. We actively looking as well to move to Southfield our sheet metal shop, and in the shop we have around 200 employees, so it will be as well additional benefit for the local community. Annually, we have around 2,000 visitors in our office from whole world, and this will be definitely good contributing to the local community. So we will as well increase the automotive exposure to the Southfield and attraction of other industry related to automotive industry. We have definitely, we plan to be long-term in Southfield. This is our biggest investment since many years here in Michigan, and definitely can count on our long-term commitment.
So again, in terms of assisting Durr to relocate to our facility, they're asking that we freeze the values, the current taxable value for 10 years, and then layer a Brownfield redevelopment project on top of that, incentive. The district that we're proposing, again, you might remember that we've talked over the past several about a year or so about increasing opportunities for companies to locate in our city by creating new districts in terms of our industrial development district. We've also talked about creating commercial rehabilitation districts throughout the community. So while we were looking at this location, we looked at the adjacent properties, and we noticed that there's a substantial amount of available office space in and around the proposed site. Our thought is that if we create this district to encompass all of the properties, it will encourage further redevelopment in these areas. We've talked to several of the property owners that surround this site, and we feel that this might be a nice tool to attract new development. Again, the request that they're asking for is that we freeze the millage for 10 years. The city will still be receiving our local millage, so we will be assured that we will be paid the same amount of taxes that we have been. In fact, this freezes the base at the current value, which is going to be very positive for the city of Southfield. During the term of the tax abatement, in terms of the millage freeze with the Brownfield, the state will be asking the state of Michigan to support the Brownfield by paying the school taxes into the Brownfield plan. And then once the district is unfrozen, then those dollars will go in to help support the Brownfield plan. And then we'll be able to reassess the value at that time. The Brownfield tax increment financing, and you can see the eligible items. Again, that totals $4.8 million with the contingency built in. And again, this plan will be, I think it's 30 years, 25 years. So the first 10 years of the plan, the city of Southfield will not be contributing to the plan. The state of Michigan will be contributing. Here's just an overview of that. So again, we will be, this is just a recap of what I just said. So, I keep repeating myself. At this time, we would like to establish the commercial rehabilitation district.
Can we close the public hearing on this? No, I'm sorry.
Pamela Jarrow, P.O. Box 155, Southfield, Michigan 48037-0155. My telephone number is 248-346-0439. Shelley, you did it again. Normally not in favor of these things, but I was impressed being in the council meetings to see the money that this company was going to put into this poorly maintained building by BTE. It's just incredible. State of the art, it's going to be a green building in terms of energy efficiency. It's going to be visible from the Lodge Freeway and 696. And I just think that that's awesome. I'm totally impressed with the fact that they started out with one investment and then later on as it progressed that it would be much more money put into it. So I'm considering this development. And Shirley, I'm just going to encourage you to go after these types of deals. I think these types of deals, people would be proud to have such a company in Southfield. And again, let's work on establishing the city as this commercial rehabilitation district or even the industrial district. But I'm in total support. And to my new friend, Jan Kuya, Yashamash, thank you.
Anyone else who wishes to speak? Please come and get your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening. I am Precinct Delegate 18, elected of Southfield. I admire your First Amendment freedom of speech out here in Oakland County, Southfield. That TV up there goes quite a ways out. I done found out, and I done got some feedback when I come up here and talk from other cities. you know, about freedom of speech out here. And I've been called an idiot by certain people you would believe. Watch that TV up there. But I'm glad you guys out here let people have freedom of speech, especially like down in where they have this big giant bankruptcy down here right now. They say I should sit down and let somebody qualified and got degrees get up here and talk out here about these public hearings. They want people like somebody that can walk a block and hand somebody a $200 million bill. Somebody can read a newspaper and give somebody a $200 million bill on bankruptcy. When just today on the news, they said that 75,000 houses were going to be up for foreclosure in the city. And they said people like me shouldn't be talking. Other people that sticking it to them shouldn't be doing it. Now, when I first heard about this Durr thing, it was 175 jobs. That sound good? They're back in the spring. Last month I heard it was 450 engineer jobs coming. That sounds good. Now it's up to 485 engineer jobs coming. That sounds good. I hope they keep their word. Now I understand that we're going to get our tax for the city here. You do the math over 200-some thousand. After 11 years to 10 years, that's $2.5 million. But they want to be reimbursed for when they fix that building up for about $4 million. Now the city might have to sit out. I hope I got this right. But I hope this guy's on the level. All I'm asking is that our city administrator over here sent a letter to the office of the president over in Germany to check all this out, because it sounds too good. Good spirit, gentlemen, I have a question on this. That sounds too good, and I hope you're on the level. Also, I understand that we are protected by the federal housing thing. We cannot steer people from Germany over here to tell them to live in. Our city council, mayor, clerks, they're all elected officials. They don't have to stay here, but you can't be elected. But you can live anywhere you want. But you cannot force people to stay where you want. These other 400-some people. So I welcome you guys if you guys are on the level, and I hope somebody send a letter or Jeremy check all this stuff out. Because that sounds like he's talking. Welcome guys if you're on the level.
Thank you. Will you please give me your name and address for the record, please?
Jeremy Salinger. I live at 24417 Lois Lane, Southfield. I just have one question. I noticed on the aerial photograph that there seemed to be a forest or wetland near the back of the property that's to be redeveloped. And I'd like to know, first of all, is that an official wetland, and what will happen to that forest?
Terry, do you want to answer that question?
Through the chair, this went through site plan review, and the wetlands will not be affected by this project.
Thank you.
Anyone else has a question? I'm going to close the public hearing. Council?
Chair, do you entertain a motion?
Yes, for the request from Durr Corporation, this will be establishing commercial rehabilitation district under the Public Act 210. MVD.
Right, I make that motion.
Support.
It's moved by Mrs. Jordan, supported by Mrs. Seymour. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays, motion carries. Shelley E. is the application from the Durr Corporation.
That's correct. I just would like to clarify one thing for the surrounding property owners, that PA 210 is an underutilized tool that is sunsetting in December 2015. This is a way to attract new development to their location. If they choose not to use this tool, it will just sunset. So we don't want to feel that people have, there's undue pressure to utilize it, but it is an extra benefit for the property owners. So we have received a request from Durr. They are looking to make a $21 million renovation to the existing property, as well as a $19 million expansion to the back portion of 26801 Northwestern Highway. They are requesting the commercial rehabilitation district that this project be placed in that district. If the city council were to approve it, it would go to Oakland County for their approval and then to the state of Michigan for final approval.
Anyone from Durr would like to make a comment? Not all. I don't want to cut you off. Would you like to say anything, or go on, open the public hearing, and then you can answer any questions that may arise? Open the public hearing. Name and address, please, for the record.
Pamela Gerald, P.O. Box 155, Southfield, Michigan, 48037-0155. My telephone number is 248-346-0439. Again, I'm in total support of this project, and I never thought that there would be a day that I would see a company come to this council with a great presentation as to why this project should be in the city of Southfield. I concur with Mr. Gillum that you can't keep stating as a way of trying to influence whether or not their employees move here. Sell the city as is, and it would be their choice as to whether or not they want to move here. I just think, Shelley, I really think that you should try to establish areas in this city near this new development that they can better utilize this tool, this PA 210. But again, I think it's going to be wonderful, and normally when companies come, they have a ribbon cutting ceremony, and they only invite the elected officials, and it's at that time where elected officials sometimes will state their cause or what they expect for them to do. And I want to just encourage you, when you do a grand opening, invite the citizens of Southfield and make it a big public open grand opening, because it's the residents that will ride or die with you a lot of times, and it's not always the elected officials. Thank you.
Anyone else? Name and address for the record, and please,
Mark Adams, Oakland County Economic Development, 2100 Pontiac Lake Road, Waterford, Michigan. I just want to let council, mayor, residents of the city of Southfield know that Oakland County is in full support of this project. It's really a great win for the city of Southfield. I work on a lot of projects. I work with Fred, Shelley, and this type of adaptive reuse of a building you don't see every day with this type of investment and this type of corporate citizen coming into a community. So it's something that doesn't happen every day. It's something that I know the city of Southfield, as you market yourself, this is a win for you. It's a win for Oakland County and the surrounding hotels and the spin-off benefits of bringing these 485 jobs into the community is going to be a benefit to all of the surrounding businesses. So we're pleased to have you in the community, Durr, and we look forward to your investment in the future.
Thank you. Anyone else? I declare the public hearing closed. Council?
Mr. Chairman, I move that, you want a motion, right?
Yes.
A motion that we approve the application from Durr Corporation for a commercial rehabilitation exemption certificate under PA 210 of 2005 as amended.
Moved by Mr. Seymour, supported by Mr. Moss. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
I have a question.
Mr. Frazier?
When we established the Public Act 210, we established it in more property, a larger section of property than this building takes place. It's going to sunset December 31st of 2015. If no other business comes along and takes advantage of the 210 in the other pieces of property that we've done, it will sunset along. Do we have to do anything to reduce the size of the PA 210 that we're establishing tonight in order to just cover this piece of property?
Well, when we establish a district, it opens up the tool for all the other property owners. If nobody else chooses to use it, the the state of Michigan, this is a state act, it sunsets from the state of Michigan, so there will be nothing else that we have to do. The project is, if it's approved by the state tax commission, the state treasury, then that will be able to stay for the 10 years. But if nobody else utilizes this tool in the area, there will be nothing else for us to do.
So it'll just revert back to the condition that it is before we made it 210?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Comment?
Mr. Senator?
I just want to, we've talked a lot about Durr coming to Southfield, and we've had, I think this is our third discussion. This is a really tremendous, many people may not be familiar with this company, but Southfield has really become a center for auto-related businesses, from Eaton Corporation to BASF, Denso, Lear, and any number of others. And so, Kamal, thank you. This is a great addition to our portfolio. We don't have GM, Ford, or Chrysler, but we do have companies, even Covisint, that we talked about earlier, that are reliant on the businesses that are in Southfield. They bring very high-tech jobs, engineering jobs, good-paying jobs. So with that, and imagine 485 people, more people coming to the city every day. The economic spin-off from that can't quite be calculated, but it does mean hotel rooms, it means gas stations, it means restaurants, it means stores. All of that equates to another wave of ripple of jobs in our community and keeping businesses healthy, as well as occupying space. We don't want vacant buildings. We want this to have be a vibrant business center, and this is a great addition to that. Plus the fact, and I'm saying all this because we're really entering into a public-private partnership here, but why this is good for Southfield, besides all the spin-off economics, we're also taking an outdated building with environmental issues that's been vacant for several years and turning it into totally remodeling it. It's going to have a whole new facade. We've looked at the site plan in other meetings, and this building will certainly, I believe, be a stimulus for other development or other tenants coming into existing buildings on that section of Northwestern Highway. So, sometimes we're criticized for entering these deals, but they are really very beneficial in ways to the community. And probably Ms. Freeman can tell you more about the economic spin-off than I can. I know U of M did a formula a number of years ago to measure for every job or dollar spent, there's so much in.
Right, that's correct. There is a formula, and I don't have the dollars with me, but the numbers with me at this time. But Durr does expect, last year they had over 2,000 visitors to their different locations, so they anticipate a similar amount of visits to this new headquarters when they have it, so it will have tremendous impact on the hotels in the area and all of the restaurants. As well, they're not looking to do direct hiring at this time, but as they have turnover with their company, they will definitely be working with the Michigan Works Southfield office to help with any replacement employees, and they are committed to showcasing our city to their employees so that if they want to relocate and move closer to the area, that they will be doing that. So we'll be working with them on all of those.
Thank you for adding those additional points. This, the visitor piece alone, besides the 485 jobs that are coming here, that are coming from other communities into a new center that's being expanded. This this is great for Southfield. And these are the steps that we have to go through on the local level to make this happen. Thank you.
Seymour?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know at the study sessions that we've had that were not on camera, I've spoken about how much I appreciate Durr coming to Southfield, as you've heard. And I want the public to know, we are trying, our goal, my personal goal has been to increase the supplier industry because we have Durr and we have Lear, and not Durr, but Denso and Lear. And we are becoming a center for the automotive supplier industry, as it's known, which is largely part of my major, my background, so it means something to me to see this. I'm, I guess, ecstatic about having you come here because it's going to help us grow as a business center for the automotive supplier industry. And what you're doing in taking over that building in that area, I think is just extraordinary. And it's good citizenship for a business to do that. So I'm totally in favor of this, and really, I couldn't be happier. I just couldn't be happier. You're going to be part of our community, and as Mr. Cybers said, many things here that will benefit from that. But the fact that you will be here will help us to draw other people from the supplier industry. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much. You allowed me a few words as well, because to be honest with you, the decision we made on the base on the location, we calculate how far the people live and the Southfield was the chosen place. But the development, what we have with all of you, dealing with all of you, I'm absolutely personally impressed how helpful and how easy it is to do the business with you guys. Thank you very much for being here.
You make a good business decision based on your needs and what your people want. But it's very, how can I say, satisfying to us to know that you would want to be here, because it is kind of centrally located, and that means that's important. But to me, because of I guess because of my background, I realize how important the supplier industry is, and to build up, from the companies that are already here, that's a huge, huge thing for us. So, welcome.
Thank you.
Mr. Lois?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. Echoing what I said before, we love hearing that Southfield is a community worth investing in, and I'm sure that Michael will hop you on that same press release that was released with the last corporation. I have a question actually for Ms. Freeman. It sounds like that this underutilized commercial rehabilitation exemption certificate worked this time around, and we can speak to why perhaps, this could be or should be extended beyond the sunsetting in 2015.
Well, you as a new representative with the state of Michigan, you can lead the charge to have that extended in the future.
And that's kind of what the dialogue I wanted to engage in. We should really sit down and talk about how this project worked, how it helped and benefited the city of Southfield, our tax base, our property values. I'd love to talk with you about this further.
As we have our buildings continue to age and we find that they are in need of renovation, we have to look at creative ways to bring new resources to projects to make them attractive to developers. And so this is a really positive tool along with our Brownfield tool. And so I'm really pleased that the City Council is open to utilizing these to help reinvest in the city.
Thanks.
Anything else?
Mr.
Yes, I want to go to Mr. Fisher and then Mrs. Jordan.
Yes, this comment is for Mr. Adams. Nothing happens alone. We're working together as a team. And you represent, whether you want to or not, you represent Oakland County tonight. And it would be nice if, to make this whole package work as well as we'd like to make the showcase, it'd be nice if you could talk to the road commission folks and tell them that Lossa Road needs a little help, so that this whole area is spiffed up, so that when the people come in, they're happy that they're coming into Southfield to work at a building that the corporation is spending a ton of money on.
I'll be more than happy to do that, but as you know, that's an independent body, but
I understand.
I definitely...
We are doing the service drive,
I
washer between the highway and Civic Center.
Absolutely. This is more than just a county, city initiative. We are working with the state of Michigan, and we do have a meeting set up with MDOT. We have been tapping into different funds that have been available. The Economic Development Fund from the Department of Transportation has been available. We've utilized it in different parts of the community. We are meeting with them next week to talk about this property with the new addition to the new development that's coming in at the location. We will be working with Oakland County Road Commission to try and bring all the dollars together. It is very important. We have some other companies that have brought some new jobs into the area, and we're going to be utilizing those jobs as leverage to seek some additional dollars from the state of Michigan. So you're right on target.
Thank you. And Fred and Shelley knows that whenever they need anything out of me, just give me a call.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank you for offering your employees an incentive package for possibly relocating here. I think that's very, very significant. And one of the elements that makes a community strong is a strong business community and a business presence. And what you've done is taken an obsolete building and you're going to redevelop it and make it a very pillar statement in our community. So I want to thank you for that. Just thank you for making Southfield home. Thank you for consolidating the three businesses that you have at your three headquarters into one office. So we're looking forward to a great business partnership and a business relationship.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Madam Clerk, do we have a motion for that? Mayor?
Thank you. I saw your commitment to other cities that you're in. When Brownfield and tax incentives are given, it is a sacrifice of the city. And we're working very hard, and one of the things that's very important to me is that the investment in the youth in the community. There's a number of ways you can do that. We need to provide opportunities for internships for children, and we would like the city of Southfield to be your first choice. And working with we have a manufacturing academy, we have a business academy in our city, and one of the things that I want Southfield to do a better job is that money is good, but when you invest in the education and employment of the residents of the city, the youth of our city, you're really making a difference. We have a very strong school system here, and every summer, it's always that challenge. Are we giving these young people the opportunity to have a window of opportunity to see new careers and opportunities? And that's something that, sometimes when you say we want you to support things in our city, people always think, oh, we got to give checks. But you can be an extreme with all the investment. You're going to be a long-time resident to really work with the young people in our community. We have a youth center that we've had a number of our communities invest in that infrastructure so that children will have a safe place to go. They bring in speakers and they do tours to different industries, and that's something that you could very much be a part of. And lastly, I want to say that the footprint that you're placing on the city by taking a building and renovating it, your employees coming here, we have a city we're very proud of, but we want you to, and that's Shelley's job, is while you're transitioning, if there's opportunities for us to do even a better job, that you let us know that. Don't sit in your building unhappy. We are a city that know that we're an older community, so we're constantly trying to reinvent ourselves. And with you moving in with a fresh set of eyes, we welcome that communication. And that's something I want the city to really, we are too wealthy in corporations and businesses, and we can do a better job of really having you woven into our objective as a government. Our objective is to have a business-friendly community, to make sure our corporations are tied to the success of our city as we're tied to your success. So I just want to be real clear on the record that I'm so glad that you made the decision to select us. We're excited about you coming, but this is the first step, and now let's continue to hold hands as we move forward. And I'm sure that you're a German company, that you could have a discussion with someone to bring over or to create some outdoor art, because we're working hard to have public art in our community that will signify or just really validate the presence of the German community in our community.
Thank you very much for the small words and for the dialogue. We are looking as well forward. This is the beginning of our relationship. I hope it will be a very good start, and we will develop longer and stronger development between both of us, and this will be beneficial for everyone, because only we can win when we win on both sides.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, was there a motion in the...
Yes, there was a motion, second. Jeremy Moss and, we don't see where Jeremy Moss is.
Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays? Motion carries. Mayor, I would state that maybe if it'd be helpful when they go to approach the company in Germany, that you might send some kind of communications to them, along with them, so that we can establish a relationship with not only the Durr Corporation, but other German companies, and make them feel like this is their home. Thank you. Do what?
We still have one more public hearing.
I know, and you're going to have to deal with it too, actually. That's Brownfield, right? Yes.
Yeah, I just want to say something to the Durr people. You're becoming part of our family now. You understand? So it's a two-way street.
Right. After is the Brownfield redevelopment plan, Shelley?
Yes. So again, the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority met on November 10th and recommended to the City Council approval of the Brownfield plan. The Brownfield program is to help level the playing field. As you've seen in the pictures, there is quite a considerable amount of renovation that's needed to make this facility state-of-the-art. They are looking to, as you can see on the screen above, make a $4.8 million investment in renovating the facility. At this time, we'd like to have a public hearing to approve the Brownfield plan and reimbursement agreement.
Call for the public hearing. Is anyone wishes to speak?
Pamela Jarrow, P.O. Box 155, Southfield, Michigan 48037-0155. My telephone number is 248-346-0439. And I know that there was a statement made in terms of the business community and the importance of that, but I just want to clarify in a brief, respectful correction that a community is only as strong as its public safety first, and not just business. The business entity goes along with the community and public safety aspect. So I just want to clarify that again. A community is only as strong as its public safety, along with the businesses and the residential collaborations. And we do a family fun day every year, which is a really big event. So the Durr Corporation might want to set up a table and explain to the residents, being a new company, what they do, and I think it would just be great. But I'm just in total support of this. I never thought that I could be won over with the tax abatement, and I guess it's all in the presentation and how much you're really going to do and the effort that you're going to put into the community. And to my new friend, Mike, I just want to say again, Jan Kuya and Chego Shukash.
Anyone else wish to speak? Name and address for the record, please.
Precinct Delegate 18, Southfield, Michigan, Charlie Giller, P.O. Box 2443, Southfield, Michigan. I just want to say, short and simple, business is business, and I hope these guys do what they say they're going to do. I hope you come through now.
been closed,
Someone walking up.
and, council...
Thank you.
Oh, I didn't see his hand up. Go ahead. Simone, give your name and address for the record, please.
Mr. President, my name is Gerard Mullen. My address is Post Office Box 155, Southfield, Michigan, 48037. Tonight, I'm not here to speak for or against this Brownfield request. Instead, I'd like to point out several errors on this application. To be precise, 5 errors contained within the affidavit of functional obsolescence that was prepared by a level 4 assessor. Error number 1, the affidavit erroneously refers to the Brownfield Act as PA 381 of 1966, when in fact council's legal notice for this public hearing correctly states PA 381 of 1996. The council got it right, the level 4 assessor got it wrong. Error number 2, page 2 of this affidavit contains a spelling error. In the phrase Brownfield Redevelopment Act, the word act is misspelled, AD, by a level 4 assessor and not ACT. Error number 3, the affidavit erroneously attributes the definition of functional obsolete to subsection R of section 2 of the Act, when in fact it's really subsection S. Error number 4 is another spelling error, and doing so in this quote of the Act itself, that is section 2, subsection S. The level 4 assessor misspelled the word superadequacies with a hyphen. Error number 5, the affidavit misquotes the Southfield zoning ordinance 5.110, the intent section for ERO districts. The affidavit quotes the first paragraph of the intent section accurately, but then goes on to tack on 10 extraneous words to the end of this paragraph, thus converting the Southfield ordinance into mumble jumble. With all these errors, how can this council have any confidence in this level 4 assessor's shoddy affidavit of functional obsolescence? I know I don't, and council shouldn't, because it doesn't meet the Southfield standard. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak? Let the records indicate there is no one, and council, the recommendation is also to direct the city attorney to prepare the required development and reimbursement agreement for the project. So
You need a motion?
Include that.
I'll make that motion, Mr. President.
Moved by Mrs. Seymour, supported by Mrs. Jordan. Is there any comments council wants to make? Let there be none. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And nays, motion carries.
I do want to make a comment to Ms. Friedman. She's really done an outstanding job of putting all of this together.
Oh, thank you.
And I know it's a lot of hard work and a lot of negotiation, so thank you very much.
Thank you very much, I appreciate that. And I do want to remind everybody that we are submitting everything to the state of Michigan, and we will be working with the Michigan Economic Development Corporation in Oakland County to make sure that all the incentives are complete. The company still is making their determination to move forward, but we're very upbeat.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mark, thanks for being here. All set. Thank you. The next item that we have is the site plans. We have the request Clark, Civic Plaza Associates, to construct 11,340 gross square feet of carports. This evening, we only to take up the carports, and the balance will be sent back for further study. Madam Chair, has this been properly advertised? Madam Clerk?
Yes, this was properly advertised.
Who's speaking on behalf of,
Through the chair.
yes,
Just
Mr.
can I make a couple of
Durr, go
introductory
ahead,
comments?
Mr. Crowe.
Again, this is site plan 1324, site plan review request of Darrell Carp, Civic Plaza Associates, to construct 11,340 gross square feet of carports, which equates to about 63 spaces. located at 20300 Civic Center Drive on the northwest corner of Civic Center Drive and Central Park Boulevard. The application was received on September 12, 2014. Planning Commission held a public meeting, made a recommendation on October 15th. Council Site Plan Committee reviewed the initial application on November 17th. And before you tonight is specifically to consider a site plan that allows for some additional carports as an accessory to the principal Arbor Lofts building, which was previously approved. This is the elevations indicating the proposed 3-unit carports to the front and a row of carports in the rear. And this is an elevation of the proposed carport. With that, after the applicant has some comments, I'd be happy to answer any questions that the council may have.
Petitioner, would like to make comments? Petitioners? Please.
We have plenty of Gala Carp, 20300 Civic Center, Southfield. Almost Thanksgiving. We just applied for the carports. I guess that's the rule now. You're supposed to go to City Council for carports. We have about 180 residents at Arbor Lofts. And with the weather, especially last year, they're asking for some kind of covered parking. And we're here to apply for the carports. So.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Saber?
I've talked to you a number of times tonight. Certainly supportive of your request for carport. I think you're making your project more attractive, more rentable, another amenity. This is just a question, and it's not something you have to do, but I don't know if you noticed, not far away, the 1-800 law firm.
Solar.
Solar, I mean.
They are designed to accept that.
I'm sorry?
They are designed to accept that, and one of the ideas was if electric cars get more in use and we want more charging stations, these can accept these.
That was given my next comment on charging stations.
Yeah.
Especially given that you're so close to LPU and engineering students, I'm sure you have some in your house, some of your buildings.
Council?
Yeah, how many cars will the carports handle?
Through the chair, approximately 63.
63? Now, is it going to be like a lottery or something?
No.
Or the first come, first served?
No, they pay about $40 for that space.
Okay.
And, we probably had at least half the building asked for it, so that's how it's.
Okay.
I can't hear you, can you?
Oh, sorry, that's how it came about.
Pull the mic up a little bit, yeah.
How's that?
So the residents you'll put out a notice, and the residents that are interested in it will come down and pay the extra for the carport.
Correct. They've already approached the leasing agent. She's already told them potentially it might happen, and so they will come down, yes.
Is there a possibility that if you get a lot more requests, that you could add more carports, or won't it accommodate the additional carports?
I think we looked at the property with the architect and the carport company, and if you do too many, it might be too much.
Okay.
So this is really,
we want to look as best as it possibly can, not only for the city of Southfield, but for you and for your people that live in your units.
yeah, if you saw the design of the carport, it's more modern, doesn't have edges, it's very sleek, so.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I just have a question. I couldn't hear you in the first part, but when your people are renting the carports that are in the Arbor Lofts, so do they rent them for the year, for the month? How does that work?
Some do month to month, and some do 6 months, some do a year. But generally, most leases they sign are just a year, so I don't think they, generally month to month, I would think.
So most of them would be, I guess, in conjunction with their apartment in the Arbor Lofts. If it's 6 months or a year, they're going to want the carport probably. I'm trying to put, how they mesh, so, okay, thank you very much.
The chair, would you entertain a motion?
Yes. Would you like to make it?
Sure, to approve SB 1324, the site plan review.
Support.
Who's down here?
Yes.
I thought it was just.
Mrs. Jordan, supported by Mr. Cyber.
Mr. Crawford?
Well,
If I could request that.
yes.
Speaker,
Okay.
as part of the approval, not only is there a site plan that's before you, but we would also have to amend the overlay development district agreement, which currently has a master development plan, which does not reflect the carports. So I would need to also include an amendment to that agreement, so I would need authorization for the mayor and the city clerk to sign that amendment to include. So if you could put that all together along with the site plan, we would cover all of our bases.
Ms. Jordan, is that meet with your approval? And the second is moved by Mrs. Jordan, supported by Mr. Cyber. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes. The motion carries. The next is, you're all set, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Go ahead.
Can I ask a question for a point of clarification? My name is Jeff Schlussel with the law firm Carson Fisher, 411 Andover Road, Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. It was our understanding tonight that this council was going to consider not only the carports, but the proposed mixed use along Civic Center Drive. I don't know if there was a misunderstanding, but it was my impression that the Planning Commission approved and made a recommendation to this City Council to consider its recommendation to approve both not only the carports, but the proposed apartments along Civic Center Drive. Now, if that's not the plan for this evening, we'd like to understand, because I know there's been a series of meetings, not only with the Planning Commission, which approved it, but study sessions with this City Council, where certain changes were made to the proposal for those apartments. And we would then like to reapply for consideration. We want to know what would be required to do so, if any further changes are going to be made, because I know it's been through a whole set of iterations and various versions of the apartments, and what this council wanted to see, as well as what the Planning Commission was recommending.
There has been discussion, and I want to refer back to a planner and city attorney, and they will be working on the arrangements for just the carports at this time. Is that correct?
Through the chair.
Yes, sir.
Through the chair.
Yes.
Yes, tonight was based on some discussions with the applicant and the resubmittal as of Friday. Tonight was, the only consideration was carports. Now, there was some last minute changes, I believe, in response to comments that came out of the site plan committee. However, the planning department, the other various departments in the city, or the planning commission did not have an opportunity to review those changes. So therefore, it would be appropriate for the council to submit it back to the planning department and commission for further study before that item comes back to council.
Now we'll refer that back into the planning commission and the planning department. Any other questions, Mr. Schlussel?
Right, so the understanding is we'd have to go back through the Planning Commission, get a recommendation from the Planning Commission, and then come back before the City Council.
Yes, I think Mr. Crowe will get in touch with you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Next item is communications. Mr. Daniels, please.
Hello, Mr. President, Mayor, Council. I'm in the middle, and I've got a business with making bikes where we can transport them down to a smaller size, we can transport them inside your vehicle and store them a lot easier to get around with them. I was wondering if I could have one of them roll up here so you can see them again.
I'm having trouble hearing you.
I'm sorry. I have Parkinson's disease and it's hard for me to speak.
Maybe the microphone.
I believe they want to talk about their new product that they have. It's It's a fold-up cycle.
Bicycle. It's a detachable frame. We've tested it with an automotive company, and they were wanting 8,000 of these bikes. And also Dubai, company in Dubai wants 1,000. And we don't have the capability of supplying it at this time. We're looking for some kind of support from the city of Southfield, where they get building tax credits, get a small business started, a new business started. And we're also looking for investors.
That's all. I think we heard about your invention here, and we're very excited about it. How are you going to assist you in marketing it? I'm not sure yet, but hopefully we will make some contacts, hopefully by maybe community relations, showing it in some fashion, making it marketable. We'll have to digest and see how we can best help you.
The automotive company wrote me an email, and it said that they were looking for, I worked with them for 2 years, and I developed bikes, and they took them overseas to Germany, and they took them several different places here in the United States, and they come back with a positive response on them. And Southfield Police Department also helped me develop this bike. They helped me design it where it could be police usable 24 hours. And I got a letter from a news article on that was published a few years ago. Police Chief Joseph Thomas Jr. Tested in his group, and also the Detroit Police Department tested, and they said it was stable and functional. If I may, can I read what they said about it? They said that a group of my police officers found that the bike to be extremely stable, extremely functional, said Southfield Police Chief Joseph Thomas. It stood up to police standards. We had a group of trained experts look at it and give Daniel's feedback. They saved a lot of time and effort. Personally, I think it's a great invention. It also won the America's Award, the largest invention show in America, Pittsburgh, and we're looking to grow the company.
Mrs. Jordan, and Mr. Moss would like to say something.
Comment. That's an amazing product that you've developed, and I'd like to know if possibly, Mr. Zorn, if you could refer to our administrator to see if we can give you some assistance and a space to develop it. So we've got some more work to do, but I do see the reporter from the Southfield Eccentric here, if she can wave her hand, because that'll give you even more publicity on a larger scale with what you're doing and developing your business and getting it out there and possibly giving you exposure to some investors. So we're going to, I believe we can make a small commitment on our part to see what we can do. But in the meantime, we do have the reporter from the Southfield Eccentric that could possibly write a story and give you a larger exposure in the Oakland County area and abroad.
Then we can get television exposure too?
Well, you've got some now, but let's see what she can do as well as our administrator.
It was developed here in Southfield. I've been Southfield resident for the last 11 years. It's a wonderful place to live. Mayor's done a good job at keeping up the city. And I want to wish you good luck on your ventures.
Please see,
Mr. Moss?
Please see Sandy District back of the
Mr. Moss?
Yeah, I was just going to add, it sounds like a great invention in that we could probably go through our purchasing department, just through the general process. So we typically don't make decisions right here at this type of a setting. We would go through the administration first. But my question is actually, does it fold out? And how is it written? What is the actual...
You have time for
Go ahead.
Sure, yeah. I'm just curious, yeah, see it in front of us, I want to see how it works.
Okay, well, I'm doing now is I'm attaching the front wheel, right? Here would be in front of the frame. Now, the connector that goes here, it has a steel rod that goes through the aluminum rod that actually gives the frame support.
There's for individuals who don't like to have lights hanging on the back of the car. Campers enjoy it.
From there, attach on the front wheel.
I don't think we can allow you to take it for a spin in the room. This might have to be the extent of the presentation.
The whole thing was to get away from the bike ride. That
Sure.
was the whole thing, you know, so they wanted to be able to make it easy to transport, so they be able to put it in the front. Actually, we can store it well in the back of the smart car, so this is what you know how convenient it is, just compact. So that's the whole.
All right, thanks.
Do you have any materials that you could make sure that we get?
I'm sorry.
Do you have any materials? Any materials that?
Literature.
Is there any literature, materials on this?
Yeah.
You make sure we get some,
Okay.
and maybe we can help you. As Ms. Jordan said, there's newspapers in the back, they can maybe help you out. Mrs. Seymour, you wanted to say?
I just think it's a cool looking bike.
Yeah.
It is very cool. Yeah, it's really cool. It really
The
is.
fact that it's so convenient, you know.
Yeah, I saw you doing it out in the front when I parked.
Oh, yeah.
It is, yeah, I was right there.
Right, yeah, you see.
I wondered what you were doing, now I know.
Yeah, we got 3 bikes on the car.
But no, I just think it really is a cool looking machine.
Are you presently selling them?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. What do they sell for?
$1,299.
How much?
$1,200.
1,200? 1,200?
They're 1,200.
1,200.
We also have one that's handicapped, for you use the back half of the light here. That's DBU.
Oh, okay.
Actual light unit
Yeah.
that you can change it to a carrier for handicapped children or a toolbox, different connections you can put in front of it. That's also in the literature here also.
All right, thank you very much.
We also have tracking devices that also goes with the bike.
Federal tracking device, there's tracking devices on it, so if you get it right for your children, you don't want to go to 8 Mile or Gloucester, they give you what you call a geofence. And the geofence, it tells the area where it can go and can't go, when it crosses over that line, it emails you, and it tells you the bike has just crossed over the borderline that you told it not to go into. They give you minute of breakdown how fast it's going, the last 7 stops it's made, and they equip it with your children. Police department likes it because they said in case of child abduction, they have a starting point where the bike last at.
Very impressive.
Thank you
Very
very much.
impressive.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. President. Yes.
One of the things that the resident brought up is, do we give tax credits or do we have a startup?
I can't hear you, Madam Chair.
There.
I think Joey said he was going to grease it, but I guess he didn't yet.
The one thing that the resident was asking, if we as a city have a startup tax or a startup program in our city for small businesses. And that's something Shelley and Fred, you know, if we as a city, some cities actually fund that. And so that might be a conversation for us. Do we want to actively get engaged? I don't know how that's set up, but that bike would be a prime example. Shiola got started in Detroit under that same concept. So we're doing so many great things. I don't know what it takes to do that. Sometimes private industry, they support that. You know, it could be a university. So it's interesting because free space is given for those individuals to do their startup. And that, I found that to be his question. And while we think it's a great product, there's a lot that goes involved in that. And we as a city haven't done that. I think it would be something for us to have a conversation about.
You know, with a little stretching, you could call it part of Automation Alley and get for the incubator, get an incubator to get it started.
And the chamber should know about
I
this.
think there's a lot of ideas. I think we should just, refer it and try to work through with some of the ideas that are coming forward and see how we could possibly assist them. It's a great idea, and thank you very much for bringing it to us.
I will listen to it.
Thank you.
Mr. Mullen? So to make sure that we go through this item,
Yes.
I suppose, and see what we can do. Take up all the ideas that the council raised and do see how we can help. Mr. Mullen?
Mr. President, my name is Gerard Mullen. My address is Post Office Box 155, Southfield, Michigan, 48037. If you recall, last month I stated that the recent passage of the Pamela Gerald Amendment by this council sparked my interest in the Open Meetings Act, Public Act 267 of 1976. And that ironically, this spark led to my discovery of this council's numerous violations of PA 267. In my October presentation, you may recall, I listed 3 legal errors regarding this council's public notice of its yearly meeting schedule. They are: error number 1, the notice didn't state a meeting place. Error number 2, updates are not posted in the manner prescribed by law. Error number 3, the notice didn't have a telephone number. Tonight I wish to change the focus from this council's yearly meeting schedule to this council's yearly meeting schedule for its subcommittees. In a word, there are none posted in violation of state law. Let me explain. Under the Open Meetings Act, each one of council's subcommittees is required to post a yearly schedule of its regular meetings, just like council. I offer the following as proof. Section 5, subsection 2 of the Act, and I quote, "For regular meetings of a public body, there shall be posted in each calendar year a public notice stating the dates, times, and places of its regular meetings," unquote. The key phrase here is public body. Section 2, subsection A of the Act, defines a subcommittee as a public body. It appears you folks have been breaking state law for the last 37 years. Also, Section 2, subsection A of the Act defines boards and commissions as public bodies. The city of Southfield has over 30-plus such bodies, but currently only 11 are attempting to comply with PA 267. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you.
Mr. Bailey? Give us your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, my name is Dominic Bailey. I live at 24608 Hardin Avenue, Southfield. Good evening, everyone. My name is Dominic Bailey, and my family and I have resided at 24608 Hardin Avenue for the past 14 years. When I retired from the Air Force after 21 years of service, we chose Southfield as our home and Southfield Latham as a school for our daughter to attend. We love our home and have never regretted the choice we made. Since living here, we have invested in our home, adding amenities such as a deck, garage, finished basement, of course, some inside interior work. Approximately 8 months after moving into our home, we had a rainstorm that caused the sewer lines to back up, similar to what happened this August, and much of our property got damaged. Many sentimental belongings were lost because we had stored 21 years of military service in our basement. Southfield then acknowledged their responsibility, and I was awarded a judgment. Since then, it has occurred at least 3 more times in which, when we called the city's water department, we were told something must be wrong with our lines or someone needs to come out and check. I have over the years seen my new neighbors moving in only to have their belongings damaged because they didn't know that on our street, Hardin Avenue, when it rained hard, not like this August, the lines back up, the streets fill up. This last time I was vacationing when the storm came and even the sump pump couldn't stop this backup. I understand it was a storm of epic proportions. It may not happen again. When we have this happening on our street, even when it's not a storm of this magnitude. To receive a letter from the city insurance company saying an extreme amount of water fell in a very short period of time in order to deny a claim is wrong because it has been acknowledged that our street lines are damaged. I pay my taxes on time. I give to the police and fire benevolent funds when called upon. I vote to raise the taxes so the schools can have the best, even though my child has been in school over 10 years. I am here now asking that the sewer lines on my street be repaired to the standard that they should be, or if not, that I be compensated for the losses that occurred on August 11th. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. No, it's already been referred to the city administrator. It's already been referred to the city administrator.
Thank you.
Sarkis?
My name is Michael Sakis, and I'm living at 24529 Lois Lane, Southfield, Michigan, 48075. I came here to voice my concern about recent development when charter school Lois Academy located at Lasher Road, which is 3 residential properties, and has a plan to build a huge parking lot just in the heart of residential area. Unfortunately, I can talk from very sad experience. Many years ago, I was standing right here in front of the very same council, voicing my concern about development of parking lot for Marthoma Church, and I pointed for risk of flooding. City department, planning department assured me that all measures were taken, no risk of flood at all. Developers did the same. And once this lot was built, sign said, each and every spring, properties of my neighbors and myself are flooded for a month, with no exception. I pass pictures to show you. And on pictures you will see ducks swimming, and please keep in mind it's not Lake Michigan, it's not Lake Superior, it's backyard of our properties. And it's not very nice when your septic systems and the well are flooded. And now a bigger lot will be built just inside residential area for this. Okay, it will destroy the whole character of our beautiful neighborhood, and of course it devalue our properties, because to a house surrounded by parking lot, and I also want to point another point. A huge industrial gas pipeline goes directly under projected parking lot. it's industrial, big size pipeline. And this parking lot will be overcrowded twice a day, every day, without any doubt, just due to large number of students and heavy traffic and rush hour on Leisure Road. And we live now in a very dangerous world, and it seems a very, very risky combination to have hundreds of children with their parents twice a day, every day, on the top of huge industrial gas pipeline. As I mentioned, this development started by Lois Academy, which is a charter school with headquarters in Grand Rapids. Because people who are making decisions on their side do not live in Southfield, have no roots in Southfield, and have no vested interest in Southfield, we need your help to try to stop this development. I do understand that your hands are tied also by existing law, but nevertheless, on behalf of many residents of this area, I am asking you to help us try to stop this development.
The 3 minutes are up. How many people are from Lois Lane? We've been working on this for quite a while. Council has had several meetings on this, trying to see how we can best address the situation that's presently occurring. And we really haven't had a decision made on what we're going to do so that we can make those families on Lois Lane, I guess, comfortable. And we haven't got there yet. And just to say, I'm not going to say you cannot come up and discuss it, but if we can have these drawings, we will submit them with the rest of the data that we have and try to come up with some solution for you. But right now, we don't have a solution. But I just can say be patient. And we're trying to keep you abreast of what's going on, and if we have to have a meeting just of everybody on Lois Lane, we will do that.
Thank you very much for
Yes.
your support.
Mr. President, can I make a few comments before the rest of the residents come up and speak on this issue, or would you prefer for me to wait? Okay, we've definitely discussed this at previous council meetings. And I have no problem with any resident wanting to come up here and speak, but I do want to let all of you know we share in your concerns, at least on the front end of your remarks. And I think the biggest problem, and it's not necessarily specific to this Lois Academy application, and I don't even know what part of it is in the process. We haven't seen anything on council yet, not that we would see anything substantive. Here's the biggest problem with charter schools. And I've said this at previous council meetings, but at least now I can say it at a televised meeting, and I can say it to more residents from Lois Lane. About 3 years ago, the state lifted the cap on how many charter schools an issuing university or organization could issue. At the time, because we had vacant office space, we were in proximity to other school districts that parents chose not to send their children to in other school districts. A lot of these charter schools opened up in Southfield. And at one time, and this could still be true, 2/3 of Oakland County's charter schools were right here in Southfield. So there was a big conversation and debate on philosophy in Lansing about charter schools. Do we give school choice to those parents, or do we put more investment in brick-and-mortar public schools to help boost public education? I'm on the side of boosting public education here in Michigan. But for whatever political reasons at the time, this is 2011, the cap was lifted, and so it's become an even bigger problem in communities like Southfield. As I head to the state legislature, and I told this to every resident of Lois Lane and my colleagues on the city council and our city attorney, let's maybe curb a little bit the philosophy about educational choice. Park that aside, even though I'm on the side of public education. Let's talk about local control. Our governing body doesn't have much in terms of local control to curb or to stop or to halt projects like this in neighborhoods. We've directed our city attorney to throw everything at the wall in order to protect the residents of Lois Lane. We're all on that side. So if you're thinking about making remarks that might be circular to what other residents of Lois Lane said, we hear them. But the conversation in Lansing needs to be about local control, and I think that should be a bipartisan issue. No neighborhood has a Republican or Democratic score on it if a charter school comes into that neighborhood, increases traffic, disrupts the quality of life. So we're really on the side of the residents. So we're kind of in an awkward period right now where nothing's happening in the state on this issue. Nothing's come to the city council or to planning on this issue unless Terry wants to, update. But we're doing everything we can to make sure that the residents of Lois Lane have priority here and the quality of life here in Southfield just maintains the same or improves. And I'm not convinced that this site plan does that. So I'll send it back to the chair.
Yeah, I just had a short comment. This matter definitely has been on the radar of all of those here elected. And Mr. Crowe, if you could kind of weigh in and give an update on what's happened so far and how you're going to continue to keep us posted as well as the rest.
I'd be happy to do that through the chair. The only official contact between the school district has come with the assistant city engineer regarding originally a curb cut on Lois Lane, which was unacceptable on the city's part, and she has stated that she would not approve the curb cut, and therefore they have scaled back their plans on having access to Lois Lane. Secondly, they also need the city engineer's approval on stormwater management. She has not issued any permits on stormwater management. We are compiling, working with the city attorney and the city engineer, all of our legal defenses that we can with regard to planning and zoning, even though this hasn't been officially submitted for zoning, and the state likes to exempt itself from site plan control. That's not to say, though, that our woodlands and wetlands ordinance may not come into play or other things. So we are compiling a response back in cooperation with the city engineer and the city attorney on our concerns, and we're still in that process right now.
Okay, so to put it in layman's terms, we're using all the tools in our toolbox to basically make sure this does not happen. But Mr. Crowe will keep you abreast, the planning department. But it is on our radar, and we don't want to see any infringement in that neighborhood. And we don't want to see a neighborhood, basically destroyed because of this. So, we've got our eyes on this. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I also want to say to the residents here, the council members have been very clear that it's not something you want to hear, that we are not just putting the gavel down and saying, no, you can't do this, because we are limited in our power. But what we can do is stand with you, be a voice. There's some other charter schools who actually plan meetings with the school to say, look, you want to be a good neighbor, you're not being a good neighbor, this isn't working. And so, my city planner, the council, they have expressed to you that this is not something that we're just sitting back and let happen. And we're using all of the tools that we have available to you. We hear you, we thank you for coming out. Don't just sit at home and get frustrated. I appreciate you coming out and making sure that we understand how you feel about this. This helps us to do a better job in serving you. So thank you for coming out. Stay in touch with us. If we're not responding and you want to know the status of it, our city planner has already expressed to you, and our city administrator, my office. You can call any of those to say we need to update what's happening, and you have your council members as well. So just thank you for coming.
Okay. Mr. Solinger, Jeremy?
My name is Jeremy Salinger. I live at 24417 Lois Lane, Southfield. First of all, on behalf of the residents of this Lois Lane Association, I do want to thank the council, especially Jeremy, and everyone actually, for their support and for us with regarding to this expansion of the parking lot of the Lazarus Academy. But I still would like to enter some remarks and maybe some suggestions. First of all, I've owned my home on Lois Lane for nearly 35 years. Before that, I lived with my parents, who owned the home on Jeanette for more than probably about 45 years. I graduated from Southfield High School and eventually went on to get a PhD from the University of Michigan, and now I work for one of the major auto companies. I'm here to talk about the plans of Lazarus Academy and the National Heritage Academy to convert properties on Lois Lane to a parking lot. I know that this city has very little authority to influence their plans. However, the drainage and curb cuts are the purview of the city. So I want to express my concern about the health and safety impacts of their plans. In particular, the latest plans I have seen include a pond to collect runoff from the parking lot. It is not specified whether this pond is only for temporary detention of water or it drains off, or is expected to hold water for continuously. Either approach is likely to create several problems in our neighborhood. First, the ground in our neighborhood has a high clay content so that it does not percolate well. I'm concerned that the pond will overflow when there are heavy rains like we had this last year, or even worse, maybe every year in the spring, as my neighbor has talked about his experience recently, and I experience it also each year. Also, we have had problems with mosquitoes to the extent that we were unable to use our backyard for many years until the new storm drains were installed. The situation improved after the storm drains were installed, but I am concerned that the Academy will create a new breeding ground for these disease vectors. It seems that a perimeter drain that takes the water directly to the storm drain on Lasser would be a better method to deal with the runoff from the parking lot rather than the pond. I'm also concerned about the privacy wall they plan to install and any other changes to the elevation map. There should be some sort of a hydrology study to make sure that their changes to the elevation and their changes to the parking lot will not cause flooding in my neighborhood. To be sure that these concerns are addressed, I request that there be required to conduct a hydrological impact study conducted to determine whether the plans are adequate to prevent flooding of the neighboring properties and to prevent infestations of mosquitoes. Furthermore, I request that the firm retains to conduct this study be one that is mutually agreeable to the Academy, the city, and the neighborhood association. And I request that the study be made available to me and to our other neighbors. To reiterate, I suggest that the drainage plans be changed to include a peripheral drain that leads to the storm drains on Lois Lane, and I also request that the city require a hydrological study to determine that the drainage from the parking lots and any changes to the elevation profile do not cause flooding in the yards of the neighbors or standing water that could be breeding grounds for mosquitoes. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Mr. Walker?
Good evening, Mr. President, Mayor Lynch, City Council. I'm Brian Walker, 24565 Lois Lane, Southfield 48075. Also wanted to keep this item in front of you and thank you for your efforts. They are noted and we are appreciative of it. But my neighbors and I are living in a community that we love, that we've chosen because of its proximity to freeways and to entertainment and to downtown, while still providing a quiet atmosphere, almost a farm-like setting with the larger lots. And the issue is, for me, I am immediately adjacent to the Martama Church, which developed earlier in year 2000. And as a result of the masonry wall that was installed, because of that and how we built up the property on the other side of that, my property no longer drains. So in the pictures that you see, where you see the ducts, those are actually in my backyard. I'm the low area of my immediate neighbors, and so I get the majority of that spring leak or ponding. And both from the standpoint of, I've mentioned it in previous meetings, also leading to me needing to get rid of my boat because it's an ordinance violation to keep the boat up front. Couldn't keep it in the back anymore because, you know, even though there was a lake, unfortunately that's not where you keep a boat that's on a trailer. Again, just trying to make sure that this stays in front of you. We're concerned about, you know, there was plans when the Martama Church went in, something went wrong with that plan that caused the ponding, and then at the end it seemed like the city was a little powerless to be able to resolve that issue because the church was resistant to coming back in after the fact and reworking the drainage solution. So concerned that even though things may work on paper, that if we see them in the future not working out the way they're intended, then we might be even more powerless to act in this situation. So just, again, I think we are loving our great neighborhoods. We saw earlier that we have companies that are interested in moving into Southfield. I know that we have workers from these businesses that during their lunch period walk up and down Lois Lane, as I'm sure they walk up and down other residential streets. They get to see the neighborhood, and then they may be enticed to move in. We'd like to keep it at a high level for our own good and for also showcasing the city of Southfield to those who may move to this area and be looking for a beautiful place to reside. Thank you.
Mr. Percassi, I noticed that Mr. Salinger had an iPad or something that you read your remarks. I'm wondering if we can get a copy of those. You might send that. You can provide it to the clerk. That would help us to keep, because I think you had some good ideas.
Mr. Schwartz?
Good evening. I'm Bert Schwartz, 24289 Lois Lane, and compared to my record, I grew up on Lois Lane. I went to school in Southfield. I went to college in Southfield. I worked in Southfield for 36 years. I live in Southfield. I'm a diehard Southfield person, and Lois Lane is my street, and I want to keep it that way. I truly appreciate your attitude, and I need that. What I'm going to talk about is two things: security in one of the houses that they actually have not identified what they're going to do with it. You received this thing handed around. It's in yellow, green, and blue. My concern is the security side of the equation. They had bought two pieces of property and half of another piece of property to put a parking lot in. That's the yellow parking lot. That parking lot is not directly behind the school. That parking lot is off to the side. Nobody can see what's going on in that parking lot. That puts our neighbors at risk. This parking lot is right next door to the family back there, right next door. People can pull in that parking lot, nobody can see them, they can terrorize, they can vandalize, they can put the neighborhood at risk. So the neighbors are at risk. I think you need to also consider the risk to the city. This parking lot cannot be seen unless a police car drives in, winds around. If you look at the details, there is a winding path to get back here. The police car would have to get on that winding path. There are illegal things that can go on back there. Drug deals, prostitution, car thefts, all kinds of things. I think that is a real risk to the city, and I really, really would like you to think about that and potentially use that as a leverage. The other thing that I'd like to add to the equation is the blue thing on the map is a house that they bought, but they have not designated what they're going to do with that house. And I don't like their style in terms of, this is what we got from their last board meeting. You guys haven't seen this yet. They're moving forward with plans that they have brought to the city. So they have lots of plans that they're not sharing. One of them is, what are they going to do with this house? Is it going to be abandoned? We don't need another abandoned house in the city. We don't need anything that's going to put our citizens at risk. And we don't need another parking lot. And this facility will do all three of those. and I think that's wrong, and I'd like to preserve our neighborhood, and I really, really appreciate your support, and congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Hart? Good.
Karen Hart, residing at 24777 Lois Lane. Again, I'm going to...
Before you do it, look at my house in your mouth so we can...
There? Oh, gee, no one usually tells me. Anyway, I want to thank you, for your past support and your continued support in this situation that we have on Lois Lane. I have a little different twist, which I thought about. Presently, I don't know if it's a law or ordinance, but if something has to be rezoned, you have to notify the residents that are surrounding. Well, I'd like you to amend it, not just in the rezoning, but what about anything that's detrimental to this surrounding neighborhood? Because the way we found out about this, too, I think I told you before, but like on August 3rd, the Lois Academy had a city permit pulled to tear down a house. About a week later, we didn't know this was going on. Then about a week later, my husband saw the city trucks on the street, went out to see what's going on, and they said, well, we're getting the house ready to be torn down. So to me, this should never happen. Where's the communication between the city and our taxpayers? This is, if anything that's detrimental to the city that's going around in our neighborhood, should the taxpayers, the city residents, know about it. So I'd like to see that ordinance or law or whatever it is amended. That's what at the situation. So it won't happen again to any other area.
May I ask a question?
Mr. Frazier?
Do you have a homeowners association?
Yes.
Is it active?
Now is. The only good thing out of all this, I got to know all my neighbors. I'm really very happy I stayed put. So, yes, we do. And Terry, who's going to speak next, is the leader.
Oh, okay. We find that neighborhoods that have a strong homeowners association are constantly in communication with the city, so much doesn't get passed out that happens in their neighborhood because there's communication going on back and forth all the time. So that's why I asked the question.
Okay, but again, in this situation, how would we have known? Somebody buys a property, it doesn't have to be rezoned by law.
No.
Nobody has to be notified. How would I even know about it, or the association know about it? But the city workers knew about it. That's the little twist in there that...
Yeah, your point's well taken.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Mr. Franklin?
Good evening, Council. My name is Terry Franklin. I stay at 24580 Lois Lane. I'm the president of Lois Lane South Association. First, I would like to thank Mayor Lawrence, congratulations. Jeremy Moss, congratulations. I was going to talk about the tree ordinance, but I see that the council is behind us, so I'm not going to go into that. But what I do want to say, there was no communication given to the association at all. And if Karen hadn't found out about one of the neighbors, we wouldn't have known anything about this. And at the last meeting, that was the last board meeting at Lois Academy, after the meeting, we were told by one of the National Heritage Association gentlemen that he would take a list of our problems, but this proposal will go through. That this project, no matter what we say, we don't have no say-so. They said that they started off maybe with the wrong communication, but this is a done deal. And that's why we come to you. We are pleading. We are asking for your help. We don't know what else to do. So if there are any questions or anything that we can do, you guys are our leaders. We voted for you. Please tell us. We did everything we can. We've sent letters to representatives, to our Congress. Right now I'm working on a letter trying to send to the governor And just, we're trying everything we can, and I ran out of suggestions. I mean, I'll just take from the council.
You're doing the exact right thing and communicating with the right people. Ultimately, what has to happen is legislation needs to be passed for local control. And I got a stack of names here that I can use in the coming year.
Thank you so much, because right now, even at 24701, they've cut the power off. And you know, this last storm and the winter storms is about to happen. That's going to cause water damage to that property, more water damage, because they're saying they have too much water damage. That's why they're going to tear down that home. I'm learning day by day. Just okay.
What's that address again?
I'm sorry.
What's that address?
24701.
Hey, Fred, get that address and get the code and see what's going on there and get back to us, would you?
24701 Lois Lane.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
24701.
Name and address for the records, please.
Pamela Gerald, P.O. Box 155, Southfield, Michigan, 48037-0155. My telephone number is 248-346-0439. Years ago, starting in 2011, residents have heard me talking about Public Act 480 of 2006, which is the new document that was formed for the Universal Uniform Video Franchise Agreement. In that agreement, residents pay a 5% franchise fee, which can be used for anything. The PEG fees, which one company pays 3.94% and the other company pays only 3%, have to be used strictly for PEG-related issues. Now, if the 5% can be used for anything, I made a suggestion about reaching out to some businesses through the chair to Mr. Zorn about businesses adopting these mediums because on Telegraph, they do look like hodgepodge, in the famous words of Fracassi. And they look better in other areas. So if the reach out to the businesses are not successful to make those look very nice and to add sprinklers and better mulch, is it possible that 5% of those franchise fees can be used for that? I know they're used for like maybe matters for the clerk and, you know, stationery or pencils or pens or whatever. So can they be used, that money, to make those medians well? And look better. And then, I don't know, we talked about reaching out to SMART, putting some bus depots in other needed areas. One area that looks extremely bad is that bus stop right there in front of Toys R Us on the Northwestern Service Drive near the dealership. It looks hideous for shopping carts to be turned on the sides just for people to sit there. And in addition to that, it's a lot of trash. It's a lot of freestanding water. Now, Congresswoman Lawrence talked about, as her tenure for mayor, about the Southfield standard. When you go around to some of these stops, looking at shopping carts on the side and trash and graffiti is not the Southfield standard I think that you've talked about since you've been the mayor. So something has got to be done. And those franchise fees have got to be used for things that you guys just have been unable to finance or to get financing for. So you really need to step on it and make 2015 a better year and a better appearance. You can have all the bus trips in the world, taking people through the neighborhoods to try to sell the neighborhoods, but if the outer parameter of the city, if these markings coming into the city from Telegraph and 8 Mile coming north, that cheap-looking sign by Lawrence Tech that needs to be replaced and something better because they're getting a little bit more from the city or coming from the opposite end from Beverly Hills or Bingham Farms into Southfield and then other areas. I mean, you're not going to sell the houses just because you're taking people through the neighborhood if the entry points don't attract them. Like the neighborhood entry points for the community, they put those nice markers and nice landscaping. You guys got to do a better job of that. and get rid of those signs that's just got the plywood and the 2x4s and something there. Thank you.
Council, there are a portion, is anybody?
Mr. President?
Mr. Frazier?
Yes, there are two expense accounts for Mr. Percassi that need to be approved, and I move that we approve the expense account for Mr. Percassi for Detroit Economic Club and for the Detroit Economic Club on the 28th of October.
I support.
It's moved by Mr. Frazier, supported by Mr. Moss. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays, Mr. Lance is not here, and then I abstain. Councilors, any other items you wish to bring up under council portion?
Sure.
Mr. Moss?
I guess I'll be brief because I'm going to be not so brief at the next meeting, because the next meeting will be my last meeting as a city councilman here in Southfield, which is, just kind of a bittersweet moment. I do want to be, just a short thank you to the residents who elected me to serve as state representative for this community and for the surrounding communities. I think I can speak on behalf of Mayor Lawrence, although that's also dangerous territory to go into. But over the last year, both of us have heard time and time again from residents who are really excited for you, but Southfield's lost, and we're going to miss you, and don't forget about us. The reason we ran for our offices is to take care of right here back home. I'm going to be living in Southfield, be commuting to Lansing, and fighting for issues. This Lois Lane issue with Lois Academy is a prime example. I'm going to stay just as in tune to the needs of our community and have that guide the legislation that I present in Lansing. So you'll be hearing from me. I enjoy the council meetings as much as all of us do. So I'll be attending these as regularly as possible. I'll have more comments at the next meeting. But I also want to say one thing about Southfield voters, and the clerk can help me out on this. Turnout was down, unfortunately, across the state compared to this off year in 2010. But Southfield turnout was still relatively high. I don't know if you have a percentage offhand.
We had 49.9% turnout in Southfield.
And that's a remarkable thing. It should obviously be as high as, close to 100% as possible. But to say that Southfield voters are engaged and interested is an understatement. And I really just appreciate, I've lived in this community my whole life, and I just appreciate continuing to live in a community that cares about national and state and local politics, that's as informed as Southfield residents can be. And it really is going to be an honor to continue my service to this community in just a different role.
Anyone else?
Yes.
George, and then Mr. Frazier?
Yeah, just a couple comments. Mr. Moss, I do have one charge for you when you go to Lansing, in addition to all the other items that you'll tackle, and working with us to get our insurance rates down. We have a high insurance rate here in the city of Southfield, so you can work with us in Lansing in getting our insurance rates down. I had an opportunity to attend the Applebee's. Their grand opening was this evening, but they had special seating private party that was on Friday and Saturday evening. So we have a new restaurant in the city of Southfield, right in Southfield Road, 12 Mile. Very nice location. I also had an opportunity to speak with the owners, and they're really committed to seeing that they a premier restaurant here in the city of Southfield. So that's really, really exciting. We've been working really hard to get a new restaurant in the city of Southfield since I've been on council for over 15 years, and we do have a national chain restaurant in our city, so that's great. The other thing I'd like to announce is that on December the 19th, we're having the 2014 Business Awards Excellence in Southfield, and Mrs. Freeman wanted me to announce this. It's being done by the Area Chamber of Commerce as well as the city of Southfield, and we'll be showcasing businesses that have done a tremendous job here in the city, so we want to make you aware of that as well. So that's it.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes, I'd just like to say that Mr. Cyber, Mr. Moss, Mrs. Banks and I attended the National League of Cities meeting this past week, and my stay there was a little shorter than I wanted to. I had to come home early, but even in the short time that I was there, I learned some things. There are things going on across the country that we could take advantage of. People come there and share their successes, and if we're sharp enough, we can pick things up and bring it back. That will help make Southfield move forward. We don't always have to reinvent the wheel. If the wheel is already invented, let's just borrow the wheel. Borrow their ideas and make it go forward. And I brought, the time that I was there, I did get some things that I will share with the administrator. But it's always, I always find something that makes it worth my while to go to these conferences. Thank you.
Who else has anything? That's it? We'll go on to the mayor's portion.
Mr. President, there's an item for approval on this, and I'll move for the approval of the expense report for Brenda Lawrence for expenses incurred while attending the Congressional Black Caucus annual meeting.
Support.
Moved by Mr. Moore, supported by Mr. Frazier. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays. Motion carries. Mayor?
Yes, Council. There's a few things I wanted to share with you. I want everyone to know that our tree lighting ceremony, which I'm excited about, will be Monday, December the 1st, and it will be at the Durr Center. This year, because of the construction on Evergreen Road, it'll be our only tree lighting. So if you always waited for the Evergreen or the City Hall, and please know there will only be one tree lighting, and that will be on December 1st at the Berg, and that's always just a wonderful event. It will start at 6:30 p.m. I also want you to know we did a ribbon cutting for Greenfield Road and Northland Transit Terminal. It was, for us who were there, it was very emotional because that road has been such, Greenfield Road has been such a poster child for what's wrong with our roads in Michigan. So we were very happy to open that. It was disappointing because of all the media we got when the road was bad. We didn't have enough media there to say that we fixed it. And it was just such a good example of governments working together. Everyone had come to the table, the City of Southfield, Oakland County, the state, and even federal dollars to make sure we fix that. And we have to continue doing that. But I was so happy to say Greenfield Road is fixed and happened. Also, there was a grand opening at one of our synagogues, the Berman Center of Jewish Education, and that opened on Wednesday, and it was a addition and very proud moment for the congregation where it's a place for Jewish education, and that was a very good grand opening there. And I can't move forward without saying to everyone, Happy Thanksgiving. It's a time that so many people put different markers on it, but the thing that I like to hear so often are adults talking about that fun time when all the family comes together. We sit down and we eat. Everyone usually has a role in the Thanksgiving dinner, but we have so much to be thankful for. It's very easy to concentrate on our challenges because we do have them. If you're alive, you have challenges, but life is so short. If you just take a minute, Thanksgiving Day is, to me, one of those times where you sit down with your family and you're thankful for those who are there with you. You're thankful for the good things that have happened, and it kind of brings us into that season of holiday celebrations. And I just want to say to the City of Southfield, thank you. This has been an amazing 20 years of my life serving this city, and I will continue to service you. Like Jeremy said, I'm so excited that now I have responsibility on a federal level for this great city. I want to say that our administration in this city works very hard. We went through some tough economic times. Our staff is a third less than we had, and they work very hard. So to all of the city employees, our staff, our leadership, thank you for doing a great job. So for this Thanksgiving, to our police, our fire, to our code enforcement, I get in trouble when I start naming departments, but to all of our city attorney, to this council who engage in debate, and we don't always agree, but the bottom line is that you engage. And when you engage and actually have the debate, it's what you're elected to do. It's when you don't sit at the table and you don't invest yourself in the discussion and do the work that you fail. So I just want to say thank you as well. Before I give up the mic, I wanted to bring Bill Johns up, our emergency management director. He has a new title now, I know that. But I want to update you again, Council, on where we are with the FEMA and how much money has been invested in the city. So, Mr. Johns.
Mr. President, Council, Mayor Lawrence, citizens of Southfield, as you can tell from the resident earlier that spoke tonight, a lot has been lost, not just in Southfield, but across the region. This was truly a disaster. We have done everything that we can here in the city to make sure every resident gets as much as they possibly can. The numbers that I got an update this morning from FEMA. The numbers I'm going to give you, well, if you can look at that, it's only a fraction of what people lost because FEMA didn't cover everything. Up to this point today, the city of Southfield had 1,663 applicants to FEMA. We have $1.3 million that have been approved to the citizens of Southfield. Now, that's only a fraction of what people lost, but that will show you the magnitude of this event that happened within our community. We're still in the recovery process. It's going to be a long recovery process. We have people working in the city just about every day. We've brought in AmeriCorps. They have been working in people's basements, removing debris free of charge, putting it on the curb. We've been working with Public Works. They've been picking up the debris as AmeriCorps puts it out so that the debris is not sitting on the side. So those are some of the things that we've been doing. The deadline has been extended. It was today, but the deadline for people to apply to payments is December 14th. I still want to encourage people to apply because we're doing good in Southfield, but I'm surprised every time I get a report from FEMA that the number has increased with applicants, so it still may be people out there that have not applied. 1-800-621-FEMA or disasterassistance.gov. If you haven't applied, you need to apply. Even if you don't know if you are eligible, apply, because it's not no cost to apply. So I just wanted to give you the update on the numbers and let you know where we're at.
Mr. President, also, I wanted to remind everyone that the last day for yard pickup, and there's no more leaves on the trees now because of snow and wind, and so there's no excuse for you. The last day will be Saturday, November 29th, for your yard waste and pickup in the city. So if there's someone who is out of town or you see a neighbor that is going out after this time, please call us and let us know because we don't want those bags to sit there. And the one thing I wanted to bring to the attention of the city, I went to the Gala for World Medical Relief. They are moving to our city. They're so excited from downtown. The services that they provide are amazing. They will be moving to Southfield, and they were just so proud of that. And one of the things I would like to bring them to a study session, Mr. Chairman, to let you know the services, because they have pharmaceutical services for people who are in need, and it is amazing. A lot of people don't know about it, and it's for people who are seniors or people who have financial challenges where you can actually get medical services, and that's one of the things they provide. But with them moving to the city, I would like to ask if you bring them and let them know the services and have our Human Services Department to work with them. It's an amazing organization, and they're so proud to be moving to our city. Thank you.
Mr. Administrator?
Yes, I'd like just a couple comments. It's tentatively planned for tomorrow afternoon for Evergreen Road to be switched. We're currently driving on the former northbound lanes. We will switch both routes of traffic from 11 mile to 10 mile. So at some point late tomorrow afternoon, that traffic will be rerouted to the newly constructed section of Evergreen. The north driveway at City Hall, that is the driveway closest to the library, will be shut down for a short period of time for some repairs. So if people can make note of that. I would like to thank our voters and our taxpayers for the vote of confidence on November 4th for the $99 million bond proposal. The 65% passage rate was a phenomenal rate. I think that's a very solid vote of confidence in the leadership provided by council, and I think council should be recognized and our voters recognize that. We are completing what has been one of the most extensive capital projects in recent years in the city. As the mayor noted, Greenfield Road has been completed. Evergreen, we're halfway there. A lot of restoration work still to be done, 11 to 10 mile. If you haven't driven Evergreen from 8 to 9 miles, you'll notice it is coming along very well. On the east side, they were putting in the final pieces of sidewalk. Very few cities can say they added over 2 miles of pedestrian amenities in 1 year, not counting the loop in front of City Hall. And things like, when the bike comes in front of us, that's part of all of that infrastructure we've been talking about. That's looking very good. Again, the restoration will come in the spring. 11 mile in front of the former Blue Cross Blue Shield building, now the home of Federal Mobile. We have the curbing down and the wearing course. They're going to try to get the final course down in the next few days, weather permitting. But we got that striped. The road is in much better condition. And I think of the complaints we were dealing with last February. We dealt with three of the biggest 4 offenders: Greenfield, Evergreen, 11 to 10 mile, 11 mile. We're going to have a rough winter with Northwestern Highway, 8 to 9 mile. But to council and our residents, that road is scheduled for spring of 2015. It will be let out to bid early in the year, with work beginning probably as early as March. Northwestern Highway 8 to 9 mile. Section 31, substantial investment, about a $6 million investment. We're in the final stages of getting that investment wrapped up. I'm going to switch gears. Our PACE program, our Property for Assessed Clean Energy. On December 6th, 1-800-LAW will be recognized as the Great Lakes Environmental Association Project of the Year for clean energy investment. And, Southfield was the first community in the state to sign on, and we were a leader in creating the Lean Green program. So that program's starting to pay off. And on December 1st, Starlink and Mercury will be announcing their PACE program. I will share with council that on a quarterly basis, we have what looks like a sales meeting where we're going through all of the businesses that we have called on and pitched the PACE program. We're now moving from that point of taking something from a concept to selling point to where there's tangible product in the city. The 1-800-LAW firm is a great example. What Starlink and Mercury, or what Starlincoln is proposing is very exciting as well. To our residents on Lois Lane, if you could get your comments to the clerk, that would help me out. I was really intrigued with the comments on the hydrology. If I recall correctly, there were a number of residents there on septic. And when you start dealing with these sorts of things, I'm very concerned about the impact there. So I will have a conversation with our city engineer and probably one of our consulting engineers that will take a very in-depth look at how that
will impact you. I think the one gentleman's comments, and I'll take us back to Durr. The Brownfield plan there, we were hitting bottom when we did the soil borings at 18 inches in the one area. So the hydrology and the underground conditions are something very sensitive, and I believe you're in that same area. There were some comments about shopping carts. I will refer that over to code enforcement. On SMART, I'm going to ask the city planner to work with us. We completed the non-motorized path, but if I recall correctly, we have added about 15 bus shelters in the last 5 years, and we have inventoried every bus stop and where every garbage can is, proximity to restrooms, shelters. We are in a dialogue with SMART about adding additional SMART shelters, and we will continue to put that basic infrastructure in place. I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. I think we as a community have an awful lot to be thankful for. And I think, as we move on to 2015, it's going to be a very exciting year for Southfield, particularly with the level of capital infrastructure investment this community is making. I want to thank you for your support on the Durr and the Covisint project. The Durr project has been quietly worked on for the last 18 months, so we're very excited to get it to this point.
I have to say one quick thing on this. When Mr. Zorn was Deputy City Administrator, he was usually making the presentations along with Shelley. He has been like fidgety over here because he's been so excited about these two projects. So good for constraining yourself on your excitement. I know that you wanted to add a lot to the discussion. But I know that you guys have worked hard in the administration to bring those two projects forward.
Mr. President, that bus stop, we actually asked SMART about putting a shelter over there because they actually did some, MDOT did some ground work over there. And there was some consideration. So it's not going to be a shelter, but there could, unfortunately, those baskets are there because there's nowhere for them to sit. And it's literally on the curve of the road. And I know code enforcement, but, I mean, we punish people almost in Michigan when they have to use public transportation. And it's a high employment area over there because if you look at that bus station over there off of, was it last? 12-mile road. Next to the Myers. I mean, it's always litter crowded. The shelter is full and they'll put baskets on the side. I don't condone the basket, but I'm very sensitive to that bus station on the side of that road because literally there's no curb, nothing. You're literally just standing on dirt right on top of that road, and you can't even back up that far. I feel bad when there's water in the road because there's a ditch. And so, I mean, I just think it's a lack of sensitivity, and we need to leave the call with SMART, put it on the other side of the street, and it seems like just that little bitty stretch of road is about 4 bus stops. And I don't know why we have so many in such a short stretch, but if they eliminated one and put us, and I talked to the owner of Southfield Chrysler, and he said he would give, a right-of-way for you to put it on that side. Because he said, I'm looking out my window at people standing there, and it just seems cruel. They're trying to get to work.
Thank you. Council, I have an item before you this evening that we discussed at the November 10th COW meeting, and this is a request to amend Ordinance 1620, which established the pilot payment for the River Park Place. As I indicated at the November 10th meeting, there was a reflection when all of the documents were prepared for the MISTA financing that there was an error in the legal description on the actual pilot ordinance. So what I'm requesting is an amendment to Ordinance 1620 to provide a correct legal description The correct legal description is in your packet this evening, and as you will recall, at the November 10th meeting, we did talk about and show that diagram to council so that you saw exactly where the new legal description is, and it does not overlap McDonald Towers at this point, which is where the error occurred.
I so move.
That moved by Mr. Stivers, supported by Mrs. Jordan. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays. Motion carries. Anything else?
We would need
Yes,
an ordinance.
what's the ordinance?
1634.
We introduced ordinance 1634.
Support.
That's moved by Mrs. Jordan, supported by Mr. Frazier. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays. Motion carries. What is the ordinance number?
1634.
16.
1634.
Anything else?
That was a girl.
Yeah, I was talking, I had come to the city attorney.
Oh.
Yes, Madam Clerk?
Thank you, council. As was mentioned earlier this evening, we do have a new restaurant in the city of Southfield, Applebee's. And before you is a request to transfer the location of a 2014 Class C FCM license from Brownfield Golf Course, located in Holly, Michigan, to the new Applebee's located at 29177 Southfield Road. The attorney representing the Applebee restaurant, Mr. Eric Egan from Honikin, Miller, Schwartz, and Cohen, has patiently been sitting throughout this whole meeting and is present if you have any questions for this evening. It's recommended that council approve this liquor license transfer request.
I'd like to make a comment regarding your liquor license. Your name and address for the record, please.
Yes, sir. I am Eric Egan, E-G-G-A-N, and I'm a lawyer with Honikin, Miller, Schwartz, and Cohen, from Lansing, Michigan, 222 North Washington Square. I'm also here this evening with Jeff Patel, who is a representative of Team Showstack, the developers and owners of the Applebee's. We're here to answer any questions you may have. We certainly support the recommendation, and I think that Southfield is a terrific place to be, and glad to have the opportunity to serve Southfield.
Council? Moved by Mrs. Jordan, supported by Mr. Moss.
Sure. I just have a quick comment.
Well, did you make a motion?
Ms. Jordan, I just want to talk.
I'll give Mr. Stiver then. I'll give support to Mr. Stiver.
I'll make the motion, but I also have a comment.
It's moved by Mrs. Jordan, supported by Mr. Stiver. Now, Mr. Moss, go ahead.
I love Applebee's. And for every chicken tender that I'm going to dip in ranch dressing, I will be so thankful for my role on this city council that an Applebee's has come to Southfield during my tenure here. That's all I have to say.
And I love Applebee's too, and I'm just, we were really bummed out. We were doing city business, and we didn't get to, we asked for a rain check.
For the premier?
For the premier. We weren't able to get over there because we were attending a conference representing the city of Southfield over the weekend.
Well, that is a rain check that they would happily check in for it, so please, don't hesitate. Don't hesitate.
Yeah, there were 4 of us.
You haven't been there, Mr. Stiver, yet?
No,
we
just got back last night.
So you don't be, fool around in Austin instead of staying home and you can go to Applebee's. But anyway, I really appreciate the murals that you've done. I mean, what a marketing job you did for the city. Each one of them has represented a lot of our sports and the city and some of our history, and it's just been really great to sit there and eat and see the beautiful things you've accomplished with that. Urge everybody in Southfield and the surrounding area to go to Applebee's, and food is great.
I'd also have, we have a resident that was skeptical about Applebee's, and I have converted her to an Applebee's fan, and she happens to be in the audience tonight, Miss Uni Rose. I don't want to call her out or anything, but she can't wait to go. You're free. You're free. I said I'd take you.
I think one of the great parts is that we are a national chain, but we are
locally owned and operated by Team Shostak Family Restaurants, which employs over 5,000 people in the state. So we try to stay local and relevant.
Ribbon cutting, did you say?
Yeah, the ribbon cutting we'll probably do once the weather breaks again, so we'll invite you all back out for some food at that point.
Well, who do we see about rain checks? Because I got my notice after the opening. That's when I.
She wasn't sure to leave my car. She wasn't with us.
Wasn't, but my notice was sent after the opening. So I'd like to, I've never been to Applebee's, I'd like to go.
We'd absolutely invite you. Harvey Blackburn is the general manager there, and he'll take care of you.
I can't hear you, everybody's having hysterics here.
Harvey is our GM there, and I'll make sure I'll leave his information, he'll take care of you.
Jeff, did you give your name and address for the record?
My name is Jeff Patel. My address is 4291 Center Valley Drive, Ann Arbor, Michigan, 48108.
Anything else, Council?
You know, what was really, really impressed me is the hiring of over 130 people. Of that, over 7, I believe, that were full-time. So that's really good for the city of Southfield and the metro area. So please take that back. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We got a vote.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays, motion carries. Mr. Egan, you take this, Jeff. Council, is there anything else that's,
One last thing, Mr. Chair, if I could. This Saturday, I know we've got Black Friday, but this Saturday is Small Business Saturday, and we just want to, I just want to encourage everyone to visit small businesses and to shop at them on this Saturday, Small Business Saturday.
I'm sure we have one more, Mr. Frazier, we have, and at 1631, Southfield Motor Carrier Safety Code.
So moved.
We've got an agenda for the amended copy.
Sorry about that, go.
It's moved by Mr. Frazier, supported by Mrs. Seymour. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays, the motion carries. And to everyone, have a great Thanksgiving, and God bless you all, and make sure that you look around at your blessings and don't pay too much attention to the Black Friday. That's what Thanksgiving is all about. Thank you.